Final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Happy Monday.
That was epic, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We got a big show. We got an extended show. Let's do it big. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, you would have a costume change planned right in the middle of the show.
Yes. I'm going to put on a new wig. So I'm looking forward to it. Hey, all my friends out there in Facebook and YouTube land, thank you so much for spending your Monday night with us. Another edition of Southern Gospel Forward, episode what?
15.
15. Man, these are flying by and we're having a ball. Thank y'all so much for spending your evening with us. Would you do us a favor? Would you please click share? If you're watching on Facebook, if you will click that share button right now and share with all your friends, your family, your acquaintances, your enemies, anybody out there, just share. That would be a big plus. And you can like us on Facebook on the SBM Studios page. And if you're watching on YouTube, we would love for you to subscribe. We really need to grow our subscriber viewership on YouTube. So if you haven't been to SBM Studios YouTube page, you could do that and be a big old blessing to the Southern Gospel Forward crew. Right?
Right.
Yes.
Yay.
Go do it now.
Now, tell him, Riley,
Now.
getting all bossy. Look at you.
Like, subscribe, smash the like button and the bell and all that good stuff,
There you go.
You can know.
Uh-oh, Riley got all choppy on us there for a second. Maybe that's not coming across too much. Eh? Hey, we got a lot in store for tonight's show, and we got some folks in the green room. We're feeding them a lot of red and green and blue and brown and yellow peanut M&Ms. That's what they wanted. They were real particular about what they wanted. So they are in there eating right now, getting ready to have a really fun show. And y'all were good to us this week on sponsorships. Yeah. In fact, it's going to take me just a minute to go through these, but y'all pull up a chair and listen to these who have sponsored us on Southern Gospel Forward for episode 13. Go ahead and kick it off there, Mr. Producer. We've got Heaven Bound Trio. www.heavenboundtrio.com. Mr. Larry Jones, we thank you. This is a second show that they have sponsored, and they are a fantastic trio. They have performed on the showcases of National Quartet Convention and just a wonderful group, awesome sound. Go to www.heavenboundtrio.com and check them out, please. Thank you all for sponsoring us. Hey, Avery, did you say you wanted to do this one?
Yeah, so we were sponsored by Marilyn and Greg Brady. They host the annual Shadow Valley Gospel Music Festival in Fayetteville, Tennessee. This year will be my 4th year to go to Shadow Valley. It is one of the prettiest gospel music festivals that are outdoor that you will ever go to. And if they're predicting rain, don't worry about it. They've got a huge barn that can seat everybody. So please, if you are close by, I'm in Central Alabama and I drive to Fayetteville. It's a blessing. So go and support them. It's July 11th, 12th, and 13th this year.
Thank you very much, Avery. Good job. And next sponsor, the Solid Rock Radio Program. Radio host David Harrell, music with a message. You can get ready for church with them each Sunday, listening from 8:15 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Go to www.thesolidrockradioprogram.com, and you can find them on Facebook as well at the Solid Rock Radio Program. Good or easy for me to say, right? All right, here's another anonymous donor that sponsored this. Evan didn't throw this up here, but Southern Gospel Concerts galore coming to Central Alabama. Clear Vision on Sunday, March 17th. The Pilot Family on Saturday, June 8th. And Troy Burns Family Sunday, December 1st, coming to Emmanuel Baptist Church on 1745 Red Hill School Road, Hayden, Alabama. Pastor Dwayne Harper and singing chairman Avery Bradford would be tickled to death if you would come and join them. And next up, exciting concert is planned, Memorial Day Honor and Remembrance Tour. And this is featuring Ernie Haas and Signature Sound, special guest, the Promised Land Quartet. And this was sponsored by Promised Land Quartet and Aaron Swain, a faithful Southern Gospel Forward listener and participant. This is going to be on Friday night, May 24th. Doors open 5:45, concert at 6:30. This is the Lighthouse Worship Center, 1175 Smails Branch Road, Hico, West Virginia. Tickets $20. You can call and get tickets by phone, 540-481-0773 or 304-658-3370, or online. You can go to Eventbrite and get your tickets. Thank you all so much for sponsoring us. And the next up is the Rogers family. We appreciate the Rogers family. Several of the young members of that group is members of our Southern Gospel Forward family. We look forward to having them on down the road. Y'all, we've got a huge list of young people we plan to have on this show. Just bear with us because we can only do one at a time other than tonight. We're going to change that up a little bit tonight. But the Rogers family, and I tell you, last year, the Rogers family released Sing We Now of Christmas, which was one of my favorite Christmas albums of the year that was released. An awesome project. And you can visit them at rogersfamilymusic.com, and we thank them so much for their sponsorship. And another faithful sponsor over the last several weeks, the Lawsons. We appreciate the Lawson family. And you can go to the lawsonsmusic.com and check out their tour schedule and look at the products. Speaking of projects, their album, I Believe God, will be released on all streaming platforms on March the 25th. So not only can you shop their physical products online, but you can, on all streaming platforms, listen to I Believe God, again, starting on March 25th. Thank you to the Lawsons for sponsoring us. This one's a little local for us over in West Alabama. Champion Brothers bringing it back at the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama. Master's Voice is going to be joining them on March 23rd, starting at 6 p.m. And guys, Master's Voice is one of the best quartets on the road, and they do not get in our area very often, but they've gone viral lately for some of their a cappella singing that they've had, and it's just on the social media. So look them up, Master's Voice. They're going to be joined by faithful friends and chosen witness. This is a free admission entry, but a generous love offering will be received and much appreciated to help those out who sponsor this. For more information, call 205-664-3803. And next up on the sponsor list is Real Southern Gospel Radio, and you can locate them at realsoutherngospel.com. And they're dedicated to playing the best in traditional gospel music of the past, as well as artists singing it today. It's a 24/7 free radio station. They got an app available that you can download at the App Store on your iPhones or iPads or any of your devices. But again, you can go to realsoutherngospel.com and listen and check them out. They play good music 24/7. Thank you so much for that sponsorship. And a couple of individuals that bought the excess of $25 donation, we wanted to put them up. Miss Phyllis Smith, thank you so much. This is the second time you've done this for us, and we appreciate you sponsoring us and supporting Southern Gospel Forward. And then the Weavers from Eva, Alabama, they also sponsored us this week, so we appreciate them. Producer Jason, that's all the slides, isn't it? I'm out of breath. Huh?
Can we say something? Also, that took you 6 minutes and 4 seconds. I timed it. But the Weavers hold a singing. I don't know if they want me to say this or not, but since they bought the sponsorship, I'm going to say it for them. They hold a singing every year. Isaac, I just saw him comment.
It's the first weekend in August every year. This year, they've got the Inspirations and Jeff Talbert and Primitive Road at the Vineyard at Frost Farms in Eva, Alabama. So contact the Weavers, get your tickets because they're only selling 400. That's all they can hold. And it was amazing. We've been the past 2 years. So go and support the Weavers.
Look at y'all being all commercially and doing all so fine. Good job. Good job. We've got one more thing to cover, and then we're kicking off the show, y'all. Woo! But we allow individuals to sponsor us with a $10 or more donation, and those are starting to scroll. Miss Hannah Bradford, Kyle Goodson, Charles and Trina Green, Daniel Hayes, Jimmy Hobbs, Kayla Mull, Andrew Potts, and Jeremy Yoder. Thank y'all so much. And y'all, seriously, to all of our sponsors, y'all are really helping us and helping our young folks. We have a lot that we've got on the hopper this year, like trying to get to NQC and some other big events, and a lot of the startup costs that hitting us pretty hard. And y'all, this means a lot. Thank you for sponsoring this show. And yeah, we encourage y'all to jump on with us with our future guests and show them the love that you showed our guest this week. But we appreciate y'all so much. Papaw's voice is wore out already from all that commercial talking. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Evan, and he's going to introduce our first guests of the night.
So these first guests of the night are very near and dear to my heart. They've helped me out in my Southern gospel life, have helped me go places I never thought I'd go. But not only that, they are some amazing singers, and even better than that, they're some amazing Christians and great leaders to be around. I've learned a lot from them. So please help me welcome Ethan, Daniel, Troy, and Tammy, the Troy Burns family.
Woo!
Hey.
Hey!
Woo!
How's it going out there?
Hey, y'all.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
And we are tickled to death to have y'all on. The more people we get in the room, the harder it is sometimes not to talk over one another, but we'll do our best, y'all that's watching. But man alive, we are just tickled to have all of Troy Burns' family with us tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. We've heard so much about this program and the people that you're reaching that us old people could never reach. So
Speak for yourself, Troy Burns.
thank you.
Hey, can I tell a story right quick?
Sure.
I got on Medicare March 1st, and I got to use it for the first time today. I went and got blood work, and I didn't pay anything. I just gave them that card, and then I've got $107 a month over 3 months to buy like toothpaste, stuff like that. And I went and got $97 worth of product today at Walmart. Didn't pay anything for it either. So I am pumped today.
That's
Getting old, guys.
exciting.
Thank you. I had
Well-
to tell somebody it's been building in my heart.
That's right. Well, they call me Papaw on here because I'm the old guy usually in the room, but I'm not quite yet to that card carrying point, but I'm getting there.
Well, it'll get on you before you know it.
Well, thank y'all so much. Look, what we normally do is start off with, of course, everybody watching us tonight probably knows Troy Burns' family extremely well. But just act for a moment like there's somebody watching coming across for the first time and maybe just give a little introduction, tell a bit about the group.
Well, I started singing with the Inspirations that y'all were talking about a minute ago. We formed that group in 1964, and I spent 30 years on the road with the group. We recorded all those albums in the 70s and 80s.
Blah, blah, blah. No, go ahead.
So about 13 years ago, I came off the road. Tammy and I started singing as the Troy Burns family. And we got Ethan here, our bass singer, and Daniel, our baritone singer. And Ethan's been with us for
6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Daniel's been with us for 6 days.
No. 1 year.
Yeah.
He's been with us a year. And that old camp meeting time that you were talking about earlier, that album that we did with Inspirations, we just re-recorded that song, and it's really doing good for us on stage and everywhere. And the new Inspirations, the young guys, we call them,
Yes.
they are doing so great. I told Wyatt was at our concert where we sang last night, and he came up and sang with us. And I told the people, it's like your grandkids mocking you. That's the way I feel. I'm so proud of those young guys, and they're getting it done and doing exactly the same arrangements and songs that we did.
Absolutely. They're burning it up, but we are thankful for you and your legacy. Also a Southern Gospel
You think?
Hall of Fame member.
Thank you. You either have to be dead or old to be in the Hall of Fame, and so I just know. He froze on his.
Papaw, you okay? Papaw's frozen.
I don't think he's ever been frozen.
He's
Uh-oh.
He's asleep, y'all.
Oh wait, he's. I
Oh,
saw
there you go.
He's awake now.
There you go. Are you back, Papa?
No, he's still asleep.
He's still asleep.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Can you hear us, Papa?
Are you there?
I don't
Yeah.
think he is.
Gone?
Oh no! Well,
Well, the show is.
carry on.
Please stand by. No.
So,
So, Ethan, please introduce yourself. We'll just go right to
keep
left.
going.
Well, I'm Ethan. Like they said, I've been with the group 6 years now, and it is just a joy. I've always dreamed of getting to do this, and I can't think of anybody else I'd want to do it with than somebody that's old enough to be my grandparents.
And what
You know,
about
I'm-
Daniel, you're muted, so before you talk, there you go.
I'm trying to be polite and nice and to not talk over people.
that's
No,
the first time?
It's the first time. Yeah, that's right, Troy. Take lessons, Troy. But no, it's really funny how I came to be about. We've got a mutual friend that I go to church with, and about a year or so ago, probably about a year and a half ago, he contacted me if I'd be interested in trying out, and I went and met him for the first time, and just fell in love with it. This has been a dream of mine since I can remember. Being on my dad's knee, growing up when I was 4 and 5 years old, just watching on a TV. Never thought I'd be able to do it, but I'm thankful that I can. That God's given me the opportunity to live my dream out for a little while.
That's awesome.
Tammy went to check on Jason, I think.
Oh,
I have coughing fit.
Riley, you got some questions from the group?
Yes. So, one of the ones we got on Instagram was, how did Troy and Tammy meet?
Oh my goodness! Now that's a
Nice
story.
Many, many years ago. We're gonna start off. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell it.
No, I'll tell him. I'll tell him the real story. You want me to tell him the truth? Or not?
Troy has a.
No, her and her mother went on a trip with us, the Inspirations. We used to charter a plane every year and go to Hawaii. And so
The whole plane.
no, it was just half a plane. Remember how hard it was to fly? I mean, 100 people.
This is why it's an extended episode.
Half of it.
Go ahead.
We had some problems. Sometimes we had to even take a ship to finish the trip because we just had half a plane. But anyway, they went on a tour with us, and we went to Hawaii, and I saw Tammy in Hawaii, and
I thought he was an old man.
And anyway, we got back home. She went skating one night, and Martin said, "You remember that girl?"
2 years later.
But we made it back on that half a plane, and so he was skating, and Martin said, "You remember that night that girl that went to Hawaii?" And I said, "Yes." So I asked her out. We went and ate supper out, and then
Let me tell that. He called, and I thought, oh, no. I don't know. I thought, well, he's going to take me out to dinner. So I thought, well, one meal, why not? We'll get a free meal. I was a junior at Western Carolina University doing work, and I told him, I said, I can't go late. I've got to get back. I've got a big test tomorrow. And so he said, I'll have you home by 9 o'clock.
they was the test was how you fly across the ocean in half a plane.
No, listen
That
to
was
this.
the test
Listen
they
to this.
gave her.
I should have just marked him off. We went to a really nice restaurant. And I'm not bashful. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But I was sitting there eating, and I'd finished eating. He looked across the table at me. He said, "You're not bashful about eating, are you?" And I went, "Nope." And I thought, that was very rude of him. No, and a year and 3 months later, we got married. So that's how it started. Martin Cook really had a big, back then you could call Western Carolina and they'd give them my phone number. I mean, my ID number was my social security number. So there you go. I mean, we're old, okay? Did that suffice them? Okay, Riley?
Yes. I love old people. Y'all are the best. This is great. I guess we'll go through the.
Yeah, it was a whole plane.
I guess we'll just go through the
Go
Rotation.
through the rounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll be
I mean,
Pawpaw now. Okay.
okay, cool. I already know a whole lot about y'all, but I'm gonna throw this question out. I usually ask it, and a lot of y'all were really the ones who kind of influenced this. What is, and we'll go however y'all want to go, just raise your hand, buzzer, whatever. What is y'all's favorite road trip snacks?
Ethan?
Why'd you pick me first?
Well, you're the one who
really
really
we had time to get our breath.
Man, I don't know, honestly.
I like a lot of different types of nuts. I like a lot of
I'll
nuts.
I'll go.
Daniel, go.
So, for those that do know me, I'm a eater. I do eat
Amen.
so my favorite of all time. And again, I will be 30 this year. But you give me any kind of gummy, and I'm your favorite person of all time. I love me some, if it's Sour Patch Kids or just them Welch's gummies. You know, when you eat when you're 3 years old, like my kids.
Those are good.
Those are my favorite.
He has 4 kids, so I'm glad he likes gummies.
Right.
That's my excuse when I buy them at the store, Miss Tammy.
That's a good thing. Yep.
What do you like, Tammy?
Well, I like we have those, what do you call it, pomegranates, chocolate covered pomegranates.
Do they serve them on airplanes?
Yes, and cashews.
only half of one.
I love that. I love chocolate covered pomegranates with cashews. And that's one of my favorite things. And just I like almonds and cashews and pistachio. I like a lot of different kind of. I married a nut, so there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
Troy Lee.
Oh, I eat hummus and chips.
Ooh, I just had hummus the other day.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
He eats it all the time. Have you decided yet, Ethan?
Yeah, Ethan, you got one?
I guess I'm thinking of like traveling whenever I get off the bus at night and traveling home late at the end of the weekend or something. I always got to have something to munch on to keep me up. And it's always like the Nerd clusters or the Sour Patch Kids. But I guess on the bus, whatever's there, I'll eat about anything.
Yeah, Troy and Tammy are really healthy eaters. So me and Ethan suffer a lot because who wants to eat cashews, oatmeal, and stuff.
They took Ethan where Scott went.
Hey, Ethan,
hey, Ethan, bring Scott back when you come back, man.
Isn't it weird? Where'd he go?
They've been raptured. Okay.
It's the rapture. We missed it.
See that black?
You're blacked out, Ethan.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there, Tammy. I can feel him.
I can feel it.
You can't see him.
I can smell them all the way from here.
All right. What other questions? I like questions.
I'm gonna go. So Troy, I know you sang with like the original inspirations. Whoa, he's back.
Sorry, I
Praise
keep
the
getting
Lord.
phone calls and they keep shutting me off for a second.
Oh, you're good. So Troy, I know you sang with the inspirations originally, but if you had to go back and sing with any group that is no longer on the road, that is retired, not a group anymore, who would it be and why? And then you guys can all answer that question.
Okay.
Wow.
Probably JD and the Stamps.
Nice. What part would you sing?
Well, JD was one of my
Nice.
favorite people in the world. And, JD was different as if you compare him to this your typical Southern gospel singer, but he always kept you on the edge of your seat. You didn't know what he was going to do next, and I loved his bass singing.
Nice.
And I would have liked backing up Elvis. I mean, let's face it.
Elvis backed up you, Troy.
Do what?
I was gonna say Elvis has backed up you for a short time of your life.
He's back. Hey Scott.
Mine.
You're muted
I
there.
can't
What'd
hear
you
him.
find?
I am shocked that this
There we
thing
go.
kept going. I am shocked this thing kept going because both of your admins totally lost internet. And so, but everything is still live. I checked. I think we did a reboot. I think we're back. I'm sorry that we had to pull and kind of interrupt, but my cousins tell me that y'all have just kept going and done a fantastic job. So
We
there
gained
you go.
10,000 viewers while you were out.
That's,
I don't doubt it.
Nuts about you.
I would
he
like
woke
to,
up.
I would like to have been Leather Lungs with the what's the name of that group?
Stick him out.
I'd like to
So
have been with
Wendy
Wendy
Bagwell.
Bagwell and the Sunlighters.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I think
Scott,
I would have fit in with that
while
group.
you were gone, Scott,
I
I
think
don't.
you enjoy that.
But you weren't able to listen. We went all the way to Hawaii and back on half of an airplane.
that's awesome. That is awesome. Hey, I know how very small value I have in this thing, so that's fine. Y'all just keep going. I will say this to all of my partners on here. If we get knocked out, I'm going to trade admin credentials with Chris Champion, and he's going to jump on and kind of run the show if we have to. So that's the backup. We've got a backup because you always got to have a backup.
I think I'm signed in as well with admin stuff. So
Perfect. Okay, perfect. So that may be why y'all didn't lose because you're signed in with the admin. But
yeah,
We're good.
are we to a place that we could do some comments right quick?
Well,
We are.
Yes.
We're on. Who would we?
halfway through a question.
Okay, go ahead. Y'all finish that, and then we'll do comments.
Ethan?
Ethan, who would
I
you?
Can
know
you
who-
repeat the question again? I forgot.
No, they're still on the road. You can't say them.
Which group, they have to be retired or former, they're no longer on the
Retired.
road. Would you sing
Yeah.
with them?
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
would.
take mine.
What?
Don't you take
Quiet,
mine.
Daniel. Mute your mic. It would be the cathedrals.
Nice. That's Daniel, what's your
No.
second choice?
I'm sorry.
What's my second choice?
No, Daniel, since you took his first.
Oh,
Nope, I'm going first. Mine will be the cathedrals. Ethan's lying to you. That's not his choice. But the reason for me is George and Glenn had a way of making you feel like you're that's in their living room listening to them sing. And I've yet to see somebody else do it to the extent they did. And that's who I grew up listening to. That was my dad's favorite. So that's my answer. I can't say my second choice because they're still on the road. Thank you, Ethan, for ruining my answer. But take it away, Ethan.
I already gave mine.
No.
All
We're
right.
done.
So there you have it.
Got
Wendy
it? All
Bagwell.
right.
Yeah.
Producer Jason, have you got some comments that you would like to start? Any comments, questions? We'll say howdy. We'll see who's on here. Blaine Rayleigh, thanks for joining us, a faithful watcher. Thank you for joining in. Nathan Dewberry, good evening, my young friend. Thank you for joining us. Hannah Bradford, one of our sponsors tonight.
Long distance cousin.
There you go. Mr. Gary Taylor listening in from Glasgow, Kentucky. Thank you, sir. And Becky and David Harrell, hello, and thank you for your sponsorship tonight. We appreciate you so much. Here's one of our regular and most faithful supporters, and we appreciate all she does for us. And we thank you, Miss Eunice. Thank you for joining us. Miss Harrison also joining in, and she's watching again from Winter Haven, Florida. So thank you for hanging out with us. Brent Bigby, overalls, yes. Riley peer pressured me tonight into putting on my overalls, so it had to jump in on that. Thanks for watching, bud. Drake and Sheila Miles from Hamptonville, North Carolina. Thanks for joining us. Coach Mal, thank you for, it's another one of our West Alabama faithful watchers. Thank you for tuning in. To Brian Park from Ohio. Thank you for watching us. Cheryl Crock, Southern Indiana. We're just checking in, I guess, all over the globe. Thank you so much, Miss Cheryl, for joining us tonight. Kaylee Widener from Southwest Georgia. Mr. Jimmy Hobbs, he's a sponsor of the night. We thank him very much. Colton Grider, and he is glad to be back with everyone and excited to hear from these awesome guests. All right. Thank you, Colton. Larry Jones, Heaven Bound Trio, thank you so much for sponsoring us as well, sir. Miss Whitney Holcomb. And John E. Tuck.
John, what's up, buddy?
Hey, John.
And now, who did y'all say this is?
Is it Zach?
Is that
Zachary Wilburn. Zachary Wilburn.
Okay.
Yep.
What was that?
Zachary Wilburn, who apparently is Braves fan 98. Howdy, buddy. Good to have you. Blaine checking back in. Hey, I know this guy, Isaac Moore. Hey, how you doing there, my brother?
Who does he sing with again?
The
Moore family.
Halleys?
Inspirations. Yeah.
Hey, Michael Long.
What happened to your goatee? I shaved it.
Good answer.
Wow, that's like half airport there. Let me think. Duh.
That's one of my favorite questions ever happened on this show.
I just decided, somebody asked me, said, why did you shave your goatee? And I said, the same reason I grew it.
You know what? I think I know why. I know why. When we decided to do the singing in the Smokies,
Yeah,
became a part again, totally of the inspiration type thing. And I think in the psyche of that mind right there, that's why he did that.
No,
Yeah, I do. I promise you.
your philosophy's way out there.
No,
yeah, because I am.
I shaved it is the same. Is the reason I grew it because I could.
There you go. There you
It
go.
had nothing to do with anything.
Everybody thinks he's 15 years younger, and that's good.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like some of the baseball teams. That is a rule, right? No facial hair on inspirations.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what I thought. So, and that's absolutely fine.
Nicholas Wilkie.
Oh, Nick.
We got to shave next, buddy.
Saint Nick.
Good to see you, Nick. Hey, I know this guy,
Oh,
Brother Luke, checking in.
He sings with that, the Isaac guy or something.
Yeah, something like that. Hey,
The Isaacs?
Allie.
Karen, hey.
Hey. Howdy.
Speaking of Luke, wait a minute.
Hey, Craig. I know Craig.
Wait. Did you say, hey, Craig?
Hey, Craig.
Luke, he and I are going to do a Happy 2 song.
All right.
Singing in the Smokies, where he's going to play the piano and we're going to sing all 4 parts.
Perfect.
We're going to do that this summer.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yep, that'd be cool. Now, go back to Craig.
Ethan.
Well,
Ethan
guess I'll
gone.
stay face with y'all now. He's just gone.
Ethan's got to tell his friends to quit calling him, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig.
Is Ethan gone again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Is
back,
that it?
Ethan.
Okay.
His wife is out of town and she's probably called him every 5 minutes.
There you go.
All right.
All right. So that's kind of got us caught up a little bit. So y'all want to run another round of questions right quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Take off.
Well, this is from the Facebook group. Nathan Curtis asked, what's the most requested inspiration songs you get requested to sing at Troy Burns family concerts?
Your tears are touching God.
That's a good one. That's a good
mine.
one.
And Jesus Mine's probably second. But we do a lot now as a part of the Troy Burns family program. We do a lot of those old inspiration songs. I'd say
Because we recorded a project.
6 and 9 or
My
something.
philosophy was, my thinking was Troy's 72. And I thought we need to get him on tape while he's still got a good voice of doing his older songs.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So that's why we did that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're 72 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, I'm married to a 72-year-old man.
I'm married to a lady that's on Medicare. She sings bass in the mornings.
Hello.
I never thought I'd be married to a bass singer.
Oh, boy.
Look at him.
Is it my turn for a question?
Yeah. Go ahead and ask a
Okay.
question there, brother. Bail us out.
So everyone kind of, or I was kind of around whenever y'all got the idea for singing in the Smokies or wanted to bring it back or had the idea of bringing it back. What gave y'all that idea to solidify doing singing in the Smokies?
I was.
Let me tell about the our homecoming first,
That's what I was going to tell him.
and then I was going to tell about how the Holy Spirit.
You want to tell my story?
Oh,
Mine?
I'm going to get some coffee. I'll be back. Go ahead.
This is what it is, y'all. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We've been married 43 years. Okay. No, I go to Bryson City. We live in the Asheville area,
That's not
Hendersonville.
part of the story.
Well, I'm just saying while I was going there, because it wasn't like all the
See, that's not part of the story. That has nothing to do
Can I ask a question?
with the singing in the Smokies.
Go ahead. What are you going to say, Daniel?
No, go ahead. I'm activated. I'm
No.
trying to tell a story.
I was in Bryson City getting my hair cut and colored. It would not be this color, I promise
So
you.
that has nothing to do.
But I was there, and it was just like I was drawn to go to the singing grounds, and I hadn't been up there in a long
Years.
time, years. And I drove up to the gate and I looked up on the hill because I knew the park on the right-hand side where the Singing in the Smokies was held for years and years, it was gone. The stage is gone. The bathrooms are gone. They've got one big shed still left and they built. So I looked up on the hill and the county had bought the other 20 acres. And they had put a 200 by 100 foot shed on the top of that mountain. And I made videos and I said, Troy, here's where we need to do our homecoming.
Yeah,
go ahead, Troy.
We were just going to do our homecoming
that was my part.
Because we'd been together right now 13 years, and we've been wanting to do a Troy Burns family homecoming sing. And so we stuck our neck out because Singing in the Smokies, nothing had happened on that mountain in 7 or 8 years. And so it was just as dead as it could be. And we stuck our neck out. And I said, for our homecoming, I'm going to book a bunch of groups and we're just going to go out on faith. So we booked all these groups, Karen Peck and the Kingsmen and Greater Vision and Mark Trammell and the Chuckwagon Gang and on, and Jeff Taubert. And so we got the talent booked, and I talked to the Inspirations, and they didn't, Archie at that time didn't much want to do the Singing in the Smokies, but then I talked to him later. We brought them on board, and I said, well, since the Inspirations are going to be there, let's just call it Singing in the Smokies again. And so it is just
full bore.
Full since that day, it's gone crazy. It's July 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we have already sold over 1,000 tickets per day already for each 3 days. Wow. And so it's I mean, every day and from Canada, it's widespread. We're selling from Canada, Pennsylvania, everywhere. So we're tickled that the Holy Spirit spoke to Tammy that day to go to see the singing grounds. And then it is an honor to be able, what we're hearing from all these fans that are buying tickets is that my parents or my grandparents took us to that place when we were growing up, and we want our kids to experience that same kind of thing. And so Isaac and some of the guys they're going to play softball. We're going to go tubing down Deep Creek.
Yeah.
Stuff for the teenagers and
a jam session each night.
Yeah, they'll have a jam session.
I may cook a hamburger or two.
Tammy makes this real good strawberry jam, and we is that what you're talking about? Jam session. Oh, you're gonna play guitar.
Luke's gonna have
we'll have a jam session each night. Not each jam, but they'll be playing instruments.
No, what we want to do is bring back the spirit that was on that mountain for all those years. We want the Holy Spirit and so we're having prayer meeting every morning at 9:30. Michael and Matt Dobler will be in charge of that. They will have prayer meeting up there, and they'll be preaching and singing, and I want it to be a place where the Spirit of the Lord is welcome, and it's I feel great about it. I feel like it's going to be a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that part. I didn't know about the prayer meetings in the beginnings, but that's going to be beautiful.
Awesome.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're doing it all 3 mornings.
That'll be so good.
Glad to have you back, Ethan.
Yeah.
Hey.
Carry
Sorry,
on.
my phone died.
Because your wife has called you over 5 minutes all day.
So that's how the singing got back, and we're blessed that the Inspirations are going to be there all 3 nights with us, and we're just going to have a time. We're going to have ourselves a time.
Absolutely.
Just invite everybody to have a time with us.
Yep.
So I've got one more question, that's kind of branching off Riley's. Did you get yours in? I think.
Yeah, okay. I just asked this last question.
Okay. Anyway, about bringing back.
I forgot who asked it, but.
Anyway, going back to bringing the Singing in the Smokies back, this is for Daniel and Ethan. How does it feel to be a part of bringing this back after a while? And it's such a legendary event. Ethan, you have your hand raised.
Oh, I'm excited about it.
He doesn't use that.
Go ahead.
I'm excited about it because I'll have help with Troy and Tammy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited about it because it is, the event that you always hear about at my age coming into Southern Gospel, and you hear all the stories of, oh, we used to go to the Smokies, and even from other artists, that are now singing with groups, and when they were kids, they used to go to it. And so just the thought of getting to be up there and to be able to be there and think about what happened on that mountain and how it is coming back and hopefully steering forward and continues onward and stuff.
Yeah, I'll piggyback that. I mean, for me, all I've ever seen of singing in the Smokies are like, YouTube videos or old VHSs, and to think I get to be a part of that legacy and help carrying that on, to me, it's unreal. It's a dream come true for me, but I am really excited about it. I know I'm going to be singing there, but I'm more deep down in my belly. I'm looking forward to being just witnessing what's going to happen on the mountain again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of nostalgic stuff, and seeing it on videos or whatever, a lot of people haven't seen one of the videos that I'm going to put together for that. We're going to have huge video walls behind the stage. And in 1970, CBS did a 20-minute documentary
Yes.
on the inspirations. Roger Mudd, who was a newscaster, narrated the whole thing. And I'm going to do that as part of the.
I've been wanting to see that video for so long.
A lot of
Same
people
here.
it because it's actually owned by some university, Purdue University or somebody. It's got handed down and owned CBS stuff, and so nobody has seen it much. But that's some of the
see
stuff.
another video too,
and they're going to see a video when Tammy sang tenor for 3 minutes.
This is going to be awesome. This is worth the ticket price right here.
Nobody's ever seen it.
Nobody's ever seen this.
We're not going to
video.
put it out there until then.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep.
And I've got pictures of the first poster when in
60 something,
69 or 70.
Well, 74 was the inspiration.
No, that was the part. The first singing in the Smokies we had a Troy. Okay.
New T-shirt. Y'all's new T-shirt design.
Daniel.
I'm gonna have a poster, Daniel, of the first singing in the Smokies.
Which was held in Silva, North Carolina, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then it moved to the airport in Bryson City. And then they moved it in 74. They started Inspiration
That's our
Park.
T-shirt. Instead of saying Troy Burns family, what? Wait, can you see
I feel like I'm being attacked.
Troy Burns?
That's a private joke right there.
Scott, I think in the future we just need to just get them two on for an hour and just let them go.
And actually, it's helping me right now because I'm helping another guest right now navigate getting ready to joining us. So that's fine.
Well, I wondered why you look so stoic. I thought, well, we're really getting through to Scott, but I didn't.
You were touching me. It was right there. I mean, it was right there.
He's cutting onions again and he's crying. No.
Tonight has been the night for technical difficulties, so we're going to keep navigating through them. So y'all are doing good. I can talk, and I actually can do two things at once. So, and one thing that I think I was saying when I got cut off before was mentioning about when I was talking about, I was going to talk about Troy and Tammy, but Troy, you are Southern Gospel Music Association Hall of Famer. Was it 2018? 17. I was 1 year off when he was inducted. And one thing that I love about Troy and Tammy is they are champions for young people. I mean, talking about which I if I can get an invite and y'all don't mind, I may crash one of those jam sessions at NQC this year just to kind of take it in and listen. But watching them and what they do to encourage young people at all the artist tables, walking up and down the halls at the big events that they're at, like NQC, putting on the jam sessions, cooking for all the youngins, loving on them. They've been supported to Southern Gospel Forward. And I just thank y'all so much for your heart for young people.
Well, you know what? That's our future.
Absolutely.
You know, if we don't bring them in, us older people, they're going to be.
We're checking out.
Yeah, we're going to check out. We're 3/4 of our way through life, or more than that, maybe.
Daniel, he's like,
You know, but it's always been our heart. We've had things at our home through all our children.
when our kids were growing up.
I would cook hamburgers every Friday night after football games and have 70 or 80 at the house. And the boys could spend the night and the girls had to leave about 2. But, you know where they are. We might not know everything they're doing. 2 a.m., yeah. Because I
Right.
was up till then. I thought, that's it. I'm not going any further. But it's always been a blessing. And we had a thing called The Gathering. For 7 years, we had it at our home. And it was held after church time at 8. So we reached a lot of unchurched people. We'd bring people from the communities around and preachers, coaches,
And they do
to
praise
talk
and
to them,
worship
praise and
music.
worship music. And we had a lot of people saved in our living room.
Awesome.
So
That's fantastic.
we just didn't start this. It's always
Yeah,
been
our
our
heart's
heart.
always been for young people.
And it keeps us young, really. I mean,
Well, sort of.
get a little thin up there. aren't you?
Just put a hat on, you can cover it up.
But, I'm not bragging, but I think God just instilled that in us.
Yeah.
For people.
Mhm.
And especially those, I'd go on a spring break trip and I'd take 5 young people.
I,
And a
think,
lot of them were unsaved.
I really think you are bragging, really.
Well, no,
I
I'm
mean,
not.
no, just you're bragging about.
Well, and
I'm
you know,
not- awesome.
the truth of the matter is, though, and I'm a firm believer in this, is God places callings and gifts in different areas. And no, I mean, not everybody has a heart for young people, but it shows when somebody does. And I think that it definitely shows. And there are so many young people across the genre of Southern gospel music that y'all a big thank you for the love that you share. So
Well, let me say one more thing. Roland sang with us for a year,
mhm.
and Cole Watson sang for us for a year.
Yep.
Anybody else that we've got out there, Ethan? Can you remember?
Jake.
Jake Wisnett.
The Lord.
He's with the Door family now. He sang with us 2 years, which he'd probably still be with us, but he got married. That marriage stuff.
Heck, you got Daniel Neal now, man.
Yep. He's
Look
married.
at that guy.
What can we do?
So, stop before we interrupt you. What were you asking? I'm sorry.
I was going to ask my young folks. We do have another person in the wings now. Are y'all ready to? Do y'all want to we're going to kind of cross over, right, and have everybody on for a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about singing in the Smokies a lot more. So.
All right. Well, somebody introduce this gentleman that's in the green room.
Riley,
You hit it, brother.
So he's from an hour away from me. He's one of the best young tenors there is. He's in the top 10 for the Singing News Fan Awards, favorite tenors. Please make welcome Mr. Isaac Moore.
Hey.
Look at him all smiling.
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop.
Not a
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, Isaac. Thank you for joining us, bud. I'm sorry you had a little trouble with that link. I told them they thought I was getting all serious listening to Troy talk, and I said, no, I'm doing a little technical work here behind the scenes, getting my buddy in.
Yeah. This so far, I've not had a good impression of this podcast.
What?
I didn't even get a link to get in. I mean, just
Oh,
sitting
no.
here.
Turn your phone sideways.
Did you give them your
'cause
email address?
You're up this way.
Did you send your email address?
Is that how I should
There we go.
Hold on.
Get
Yeah.
that purple
That
curtain.
don't look right.
There we go.
You good?
Did you send your email address to them, Isaac?
Well, yeah, I did, but it didn't get to my email. So, so there's a weak link in this bunch. I don't know where it is, but
It's not us, and you're the only one that's mentioned weak since you got here.
Can we have Troy as our security, Scott? I mean,
Oh, sure.
he's doing pretty good.
Well, who wants to just kick it off, y'all? I'm gonna sit back a little bit. I want my youngins to kind of help run this shindig right now. So y'all just jump in there. Y'all run this the way you want to.
I guess I'll start. I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. Go.
So we wanted to have you guys combined to really promote Singing in the Smokies. Tell people a little more information about it if they've been. This sounds so rude, but if you've been living under a rock and haven't seen anything about it, tell them about it and tell them how they can get tickets and everything that's going to be involved. I know you guys have kind of already talked about that some.
Isaac, you're the pro.
Yes, he is.
Well, to get your tickets, we have a few different websites. Troy and Tammy, don't we have a .org and a .com?
Yes, singinginthesmokies.com and singinginthe.smokies.org.
Yeah, so you can go very, very easy to just type in those on your browser and order tickets on there, and there's some information on those websites.
Don't pick your nose. We're live, okay?
Hey, I'm scratching my nose.
No,
okay?
don't pick your nose. That's rude on live.
No, I only pick my nose when the sun's up. I only pick my nose when the sun's shining.
I'm sorry, I was
but if you're technically challenged, you can just call the phone number to get tickets. I know there's still a lot of people that don't like to go and order tickets online. I'm one of those people. I don't do things online. I'll call any day of the week and sit on hold before I'll go online and do anything. So I can't remember that number by heart. What is the phone number for them to call for tickets?
828-736-1982, and you'll speak to a very lovely lady on that line. It's me.
Yeah.
No one call her right now because they're on the.
If they go to singinginthesmokies.com, my number is on there as one of the ways to do that. So
depends on what day you catch, Tammy. I mean,
Amen.
Today is Monday.
I'm doing pretty good for Monday. I couldn't get makeup on though. I thought I'm not putting Monday is not a makeup day. Sorry. Natural.
But yeah, Isaac is the champion for selling tickets for Singing in the Smokies.
Yes, he's doing well. Except last weekend.
I didn't have the best week this last week. We were in Missouri, and I wasn't going into it like I was, fairly optimistic because we've sang way up north and all kinds of places like really far away from Bryson City, and I've had places we'd be 8 or 10 hours or more away from Bryson, and I would sell 15 or 20 tickets in a night. So I wasn't all that worried. I should have been.
I was telling them earlier. Sammy sold some from Canada this week.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was telling people this week, because there are a lot of places where, we'll run into people, and I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, well, I don't know what I'll be doing on the weekend of July 4th, or, and all that is to say, I don't want to drive to Bryson City. That's what that means, because, and I say this kind of as a joke every night, but I'm also kind of serious. I mean, people tell me that all the time, but I want to say, well, nobody knows what they're doing 6 months from now. I mean, do you?
I hope the rapture takes place.
Yeah, I mean, who's out here mapping what they're going to do 6 months from now? They're writing it down on their book. I mean, but I'm being mean, but anyway, I mean, it is crazy how I guess the demographics on the ticket sales. I mean, we've I guess guys, we've surpassed 1,000 ticket sales per day already.
Yep.
And
Fantastic.
in that number, that's that's people from Canada, Pennsylvania, California, Michigan, Indiana, Florida, a bunch from Florida. I mean, Texas. I mean, I'd say by the time the singing rolls around, I mean, we'll at least be pulling, you know, I'd say between 30 and 40 states. I mean, so, you know, there's definitely no excuse for, you know, I'm too far away, because that's been eliminated. I
And
mean,
what is encouraging,
I'm trying to
and
find this demographic right
I was
here.
telling Scott and some of the guys a while ago, what is encouraging
Read that right there.
is 57.6% of the tickets we have sold
From iTickets.
just from our tickets, not counting you and Tammy, have children living at home.
Awesome.
Is that not
That's
awesome?
really good.
I mean, that's the whole point of the podcast, is to reach the young folks. So
I mean,
this is,
absolutely, they have children at home.
And 32.5% of the buyers are 65 years and older.
So just only 32% of us.
You know,
Wow.
so that's, I mean, that's some good, you know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why Isaac and we're talking about doing quite a bit softball game, tubing down the creek, and we may have other things up our sleeves. We all got to get together and decide exactly what we want to do. But like, you know, we've talked about the which I think is one of the most important, is doing the chapel service each morning at 9:30.
Yeah,
And
that'll get everything ready.
And we mentioned earlier, Isaac, we're going to eat jam every night.
Yeah, I saw that. I was really excited about that. My mom makes some good strawberry jam I've got in there. I might bring
it to the jam
Is anyone bringing biscuit? Just bring your own biscuit or something.
It's just jam.
Scott, are you
Just jam.
You coming, Scott? Papaw?
I'm sorry.
Are you
coming?
coming to the Singing and Smokies?
I'm doing my best to make my work schedule agree with it. That 4th of July weekend is a big one.
Isaac, have you ever heard such a lame excuse? What I'm saying is, if you do, you can join in those jam eating sessions.
I want to. Absolutely. Absolutely.
People give me that one a lot too. And
Well,
every time they tell me about their work schedule, I don't know if I can take off. I'm like, I will just quit. I mean,
what's the job?
I mean, what's more important here, the gospel or, you know?
Pull the Jesus card.
Let's put it this way. When it comes to my vacation schedule with my CEO and my president, I generally lose.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, like I said, you could just go out on faith and say,
and just quit. Okay.
In my notice.
Let the podcast help you.
Yeah, do like.
Or just bring them with you.
Oh, wait. Did you say live off the podcast?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Did you hear Ethan's idea?
We've been in Southern Gospel for 60 years. We knew how that works.
Hey, listen to Ethan's idea. I liked it. Just bring your work.
Just bring them with you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, let's
on the mountain.
We're gonna have a work weekend and have a what do you call those sessions where y'all get good, you know, feeling sessions where you
right.
Or just
How about you head that up, Timmy? You can be the lead seminar.
Isaac, what was you gonna say?
Well, listen, everybody, make no mistake. Scott is doing just fine, because I know what he was doing when he was off the air. He was collecting that sponsorship money.
$5 at a time.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They were coming in the ones.
And the ones,
the ones.
Yeah, I was calling my investment broker, and just seeing what the best way to no, and I don't want to lighten that, y'all. The sponsorships are huge. And it's really helping out our young folks, because my young partners don't exactly have the vocation that I do. And so, you know, they're starting out in their young years with some school and some jobs and stuff like that. So the sponsorships really help Riley and Avery and Evan, because Papaw is trying to help put everything he can, but y'all are blessing them, and we thank you for that so much. I don't want to make light of that, because it's a huge blessing, and y'all really came through for this one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I admire the young people stepping out and doing this and getting a thing to where they can all be together on one thing, and they can shoot ideas off of each other, and, you know, and just I just think it's fantastic. I'm a member. I mean, I'm part. I liked it. I guess I don't know if that makes me a member or not, but
Yeah.
Not until you send
a donation. I got to get a
and
donation.
then you'll be a member.
We start doing the Smokies each week as a.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, people say the Southern gospel music's going away, and it's really not.
No.
It's encouraging to me to see these young people loving it as much as we do, and that's how it's going to continue on. Is for the young people.
Yes, and every concert that I go to, I see more and more. I mean, that's just like when we went and saw the Inspirations at Aniana or Rosa, which is just outside of Aniana, just a couple of weeks ago. You look across that auditorium, and there is a huge number of young people, of teens, of 20s, 30s, 40s. I mean, yes, no, Southern gospel is alive and well, not only with the young artists on the stage, but the young folks in the seats as well.
We have a program called Down Home Gospel off that you can watch online, WGGS16.com. And this next week, I did all young groups.
Yeah.
I did the Collinsworth, but the parents have to be there, and
Well, sure.
Hayes family, but the parents. But
Sure,
19 young people in these groups and it's 6 different groups. Wait, 1, 2, 6 different groups. 7 different groups. So 19 young people in those groups.
And one thing that I love as a older fan, and I'm a behind the scene guys, like my work with SGMA, being on the board, stuff like that. Folks don't really know me as far as like you guys who are out on stage. I'm kind of a behind the scenes one. But one thing that I love with these young artists, whether there is a group full of young artists like the Inspirations or some with the Sprinkle family, I love as an older person being ministered to and the Spirit moving in these young folks and how they minister to my heart. In fact, I will never forget a conversation with Isaac. And I can't remember if it was a text conversation or a voice conversation, but something come about, when you say something about pray, somebody asks you, will you pray for me? Will you remember, like, so this is going on, will you pray for me? And his conversation went along. It's so easy for us. I sure will. I've got you in my prayers. You're in my prayers, praying for you. Or the big thing, putting up the little hands on the social media, it's so easy to do that. But he was like, but stop, pray for that person. If you say you're going to pray for the person, pray for them. And as a young person ministering to a pepaw, older guy, and sitting, like you mentioned, the Hayes family, Kennedy and Connor and Bailey, mercy alive, spending time with those young folks and how they minister to my heart and on. And I'm thankful for the way the Lord is calling, equipping, anointing, and using young people in Southern gospel music.
Amen. Amen.
That's encouraging, because having done it for 60 years, I've seen every kind of phase from the 60s, 70s, and how the attitude of groups and how that's changed with each decade. And what is encouraging and exciting right now is the attitude and the change of this new, I don't know what it is, new something, but it is for old people like me, it's so encouraging to see that the legacy of Southern gospel is in good hands.
Yes.
And it's exciting for me.
And it seems like the young people are leading this charge that I see, where it's becoming and feeling more and more again like a Southern gospel family. Everybody loving on one another, everybody cheering for one another. And I see so many young folks at the charge of that. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Well, think about this. Back in '64, when the Inspiration started, what young people were in Southern gospel? It was all old men.
Yeah, none. I can answer that. Yeah.
Think about it. And a few women.
Yeah.
They brought a whole new freshness.
Yes.
Just like I think the young Inspirations have as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just think it's just happened 60 or 56 years later.
And and it's awesome to see, because different things in different waves, and you see different waves kind of come and you kind of go, and I look right now and I go back to the fall festival at NQC Fall Festival 2020, and when the Inspirations which that was when I think when they were still being referred to as the young inspirations, but when they stepped on that stage and absolutely brought the house down. But when I say that, it's not in the way of a secular artist bringing the house down. What I'm talking about is the spirit
Spirit of the
came
Lord.
down. The spirit of the Lord came down. And I think that's the thing that sets, they're sincere. Isaac, I've got to know him. He was on my Voice Only podcast way back when with he and Wyatt joined me for a time there. Those young men are sincere and their heart for doing the Lord's work. And that shows. And that spirit comes across. And one thing we got to do now, we got to get some questions and let Isaac do some talking. He's just sitting here listening right now. And we got him in the room.
Somebody's put him in a corner. Isaac, you okay?
Yeah, I've been a bad boy today.
Let's do this. Why don't Avery, Evan, Riley, y'all go around to questions now for Isaac, and then let's draw in the audience and see what we got. Producer Jason's got some things lined up, I believe, for the display.
Yeah, I know there were a few more questions I saw come through the comments for Singing in the Smokies, but
Okay.
I'll run this one. So these are just for Isaac, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like to ask this question. I didn't get to ask Troy and Tim, so but what? So if you did not sing full time, what would you do as like a normal job?
I would be in the funeral business. That's what I was getting into about the time that the inspirations happened.
Okay.
So I would probably have by now have gotten my funeral director's license and embalming license and all that stuff. And that's probably where I would be.
That's
Okay.
weird.
Cool. I always love hearing the different answers because everybody is so different with their backgrounds.
Still trying to see Ethan as a chiropractor. Ethan Wisnett, that was. Yeah, Wisnett as a chiropractor. That was his
What would
answer.
Ethan and Daniel, what would y'all do?
You want me to go first? Okay, I'll go first. I would be doing something outside, probably just like lawn care, landscaping, anything outdoors is where I want to be.
That's one of the hardest working dudes ever. Mans will wake up at 6 a.m. and not go to bed till 2 working.
Daniel?
So I do work full time. I do this both. So like last night we sang in Morganton, North Carolina. Is that right?
Mhm.
And I drove back, got home around midnight, 12:30 this morning, and I got up at 5:30, or I got up at 4:30, went to work at 5:30.
Wow.
But I work in
Watermelon. You raise watermelon.
Oh, be quiet. I work in a nuclear plant here in East Tennessee.
Oh, wow. Neat.
Okay. All right. Next question for Isaac.
Riley,
my
I'll let
turn?
you run. Yep.
So we had part of the questions that we had in the forward group was talking about your vocal stuff. So you're naturally a baritone, and so that the question was asking what was the process to which you became a tenor and got better, and maybe some stuff you do to keep your voice in good health and all that.
Well, the process starts with a year of torture. My first year with the group, I'll shoot you straight. My first year with the group, it was the time of my life, but at the same time, it was vocally miserable. It was night after night, no confidence, because I had never sang that part. I'd never stretched my voice in that way. So, and I'll just be honest with you, I had a little bit of pride, about, searching out a vocal coach, because I'll just be honest with you, I kind of come, in the deep South, I guess it's just kind of one of those things where people around where I live, breaking down and getting any kind of help from a vocal coach seems like something that's, it just seems a little silly, maybe. It shouldn't, but it does, you know. And I think I kind of had this mentality, you know, well, yeah, I can press through it, you know. I can work through this on my own. I don't need to get no vocal coach, you know. And but you know, I came to a point where after my first year, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but I started having some major vocal issues. Um, as you know, as a young stubborn kid would, you know, who had his mind made up, he didn't need any help. And so, you know, I started having major vocal issues. I went to an ENT. I'd never been to one before in my life, and I'd never had any kind of vocal scans or anything like that. So they did their thing. They ran their camera down through my nose to my voice box, and they discovered two tiny little vocal nodules that had developed, and that was the culprit of my vocal issues. And they pretty well let me know that the way that I was going wasn't going to carry me much further. So it was, you know, it was kind of an eye-opening thing for me. By that time, I was about 20, and I just had and still have so much to learn. But they let me know, you know, you're either gonna find a vocal coach, or you're gonna be out of this music thing, you know, before you can blink twice. So I swallowed my pride. They recommended me to Emory Hospital in Atlanta. Emory Hospital has they have so many different departments, if you will. And on the ninth floor of Emory Hospital, they have a world-class voice center with just the just absolute genius people regarding the voice. And so we began to implement a plan for me to go by that could allow me to stay on the road, not have to come off the road, and still allow the nodules to heal simultaneously. After that took about 6 weeks. I went back in for scans, and in that 6 week time period, I wouldn't talk when I wasn't singing. A lot of people may remember for several weeks I wore a sign before and after the concerts on my chest. I pinned it to my chest, and I said, "I can't talk." And so for weeks I didn't do any talking, not at home, anything. I didn't talk to my family, and I did all the little voice exercises that they gave me to do before I would sing. And 6 weeks later, I went back and had my scans redone, and the nodules were gone.
Praise God.
And yeah, so the nodules have never came back. It's been a few years ago now, so they've never come back. And after that was kind of when we started. Okay, like now we can really hammer the voice training, you know, and get your technique where it needs to be. So
Okay.
the next, really ever since then, it's been constantly, constant voice training, checking in with the people at Emory, doing whether that be FaceTime lessons or going to Emory in person for lessons. And I still have ups and downs. But especially when I get sick, I recover slowly after I get sick. So I'll have a couple months. Anytime I get the flu or strep or anything, I can expect I'm going to have a month or two of battling, tug and pull. But but life is a lot easier now, and I've finally reached that point where I don't worry about hitting a note anymore. I know the note's going to be there. It may not always be as strong as I want it to be, but thanks to vocal training and the right people in my corner, I've been able to shape shift my voice, stretch out the chords, and do it in a healthy way. So life is a lot easier now than it used to be in my first year, and I thank the Lord for putting the right people in my path, the right experts in my path to to help me show me how to sing correctly and slowly but surely increase my range and in a healthy way. And but anyway, that there's so much more I could go into. I guess the last part of your question was, what do I do to keep my voice in good health? I could sit here all day and tell you about things I do. Anything from using a vocal steam machine that I'll strap to my head. I look like Darth Vader, and I'll do that a few times a day. Everything I drink and eat. Actually, now I'm going to say this, but I'm going to give a disclaimer. I still slip up, but because I know if Luke's listening, he's ready to pounce on this one. But about I guess really the last big thing that I've implemented in my voice routine is about 3 months ago I completely quit sugar. Sugar is really bad for inflammation in the body. You intake a lot of sugar, you're gonna carry inflammation. So that's not good for a singer. And I still, if some precious old saint brings me a box of cookies, I'm I'm probably gonna have a cookie. But for the most part, like I drink no soda at all. Every blue moon I'll have a Diet Coke and maybe drink half of it, but 90% of my sugar intake I've cut out. Everything I drink, the temperature of the water that I drink before I sing, there's all kinds of silly little things that I do. I could go on and on about that.
He eats cookies every day is what Luke said.
I'm just saying that. You eat cookies every day.
Evan, you're up, bud.
Okay, I'm gonna go back down the singing in the Smokies route. And this is Isaac. You can answer this because if anyone's ever heard your testimony, was it when you were 3 years old? You saw the inspiration. Six. Sorry, you saw the inspirations for the first time. And what is something that you are most excited for to do at Singing in the Smokies, other than sing in the Smokies? What other than that? What are you most excited for?
Yeah, I don't think there's one thing that I could pinpoint. It's to me, it's just the event as a whole. It's not even the singing really. It's not even the part where I'll be on stage. It's just, to me, what excites me about it is just the fact that it's back, and the fact that I'll tell you what has fueled me. After we kind of merged the inspirations with Troy and Tammy's vision for it, and it became relabeled as the Singing in the Smokies, or the return of the Singing in the Smokies, I instantly approached Troy and Tammy and was like, I have such a passion for this that I'm confident if y'all gave me tickets that I would be able to sell a lot of them. And it's the money has nothing to do with it. It's just getting people in that park is something that it lights my fire. I have a vision for it. So when you ask that question, it's really not any one thing about it that it excites me more than another. It's just the event as a whole, helping make the vision become a reality, but not only seeing the singing take place again. When I approached Troy and Tammy, I let them know very quickly that I'm not going to be satisfied with us just bringing back the Singing in the Smokies and packing a few hundred people in there and calling it the Singing in the Smokies. That's not what the Singing in the Smokies deserves.
We weren't either.
I think we all share that vision, but if we're going to bring back the Singing in the Smokies, it needs to resemble what the Singing in the Smokies was in its heyday, or it's not a success. And I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't see it that way, but that's me. it needs to be successful. It needs to harness the feeling that the people that went to it, decades ago, it needs to harness the feeling that they felt back then.
Right.
Yep.
So it's really that vision for what it could be that is exciting me the most, more than any one part of or any one thing that we may do. It's just the vision of what it can be and what it's going to be that excites me the most.
That is awesome.
Fantastic. Well, let's do this. I think let's go into producer Jason and let's go through some comments. We may have some more singing the Smokies. I know we've had Troy Burns family on with us now about 1:20, so we want to include them on this, and then we might transition to Isaac for the rest of the show. But we'll just kind of see how this goes.
Mhm.
You got things lined up for us, Jason? Look at here. Hey, Matt, thank you for listening to us or watching us from Stafford, Virginia. Adam Beck is listening from Spring Hill, Missouri. Thank you so much for tuning in. Watching from Belfort, Kentucky. We're hitting about every state tonight, it kind of seems like. But hey, Howard, thank you for joining us. And Autumn Hodnett from Scotland. Goodness gracious, we've crossed over the ocean. Thank you so much, Autumn, for joining us from Lockerbie, Scotland.
Our homeland.
Yeah, I'm actually, I got the papers.
Wyatt needs to bring out his bagpipes.
Daniel,
Hey.
hi.
Hey, Brooke.
Brooke Neal, thank you so
dear.
much for joining us. And Kayla Moore, hello from Blue Ridge, Georgia. She loves the inspirations, not just love, 3 loves, and super excited for singing on the mountains, singing in the Smokies. Hey, they have VIP tickets and can't wait. Thank you so much for supporting it.
VIP.
Awesome.
Charles
Hey.
Green says,
Hey,
howdy.
Charles. Hey,
Thank you
Charles.
for sponsoring
Great
us.
supporter of the Troy Burns family. Thank you, Charles.
JP Turner Jr., a young follower of a member of Southern Gospel Forward. Hey, bud, thanks for joining us. Wayne Triplett, Troy, upcoming projects. You want to hit that right quick?
Hymns.
Yeah, we're going to do a hymn project.
Excellent.
Tammy's wanting me to do her project, but I'd rather do a hymn project.
No, let's do a hymns.
But yeah, Wayne, we're going to do a hymn project next. Probably next
We
year.
have so many projects and so many good songs off of 2 projects. I don't want to do another just regular project.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
that's what we're,
Excellent. Shannon Ingram joins us from Tennessee. Grew up going to singing in the Smokies and can't wait to go this summer.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh, Shanna, she's from Tennessee.
Yeah. And hey, Ashton.
My sister.
Yeah, Riley's sister. She votes Tammy Burns for president.
Yes, I'd get this place straightened out. Let me tell you.
I tell you.
A heartbeat.
I like it.
Get the thing off. Well,
hey, Chris Champion, my cousin who was he was still on standby in case our internet goes down again, but he's asking to Troy Burns family any more concerts in the dark since the one in Fayette, Alabama a few years ago.
We were in that. They had a huge thunderstorm right before this one. I mean, it was unreal, wasn't it, Chris? And the power went out. So we plugged our sound system into the bus generator. Got somebody got their cars and put it through the church with their lights, and we got up there and did a whole concert.
That's
the devil did not put us down.
Lights.
Car lights, yeah. You were there, weren't you, Ethan?
I was.
Yes, you were. Yeah.
Y'all were brave going to Fayette in a thunderstorm, because if anybody's going to get hit with a tornado, it's going to be Pickens and Lamar County first.
Just have us back when we're not in tornado weather.
Yeah.
I have y'all in December, so you're safe.
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe.
Charlie 60.
Maybe.
Hey, Charlie, thank you for joining us.
To
the best
hymn thing. He does a whole hymn thing out of Atlanta. It's 57.
Yeah.
So we're going to be on there. I don't know when, but
perfect.
Thanks, Charlie. Oh Lord.
Oh mercy! What's Brother Luke saying? A fan gave me some old Betamax tapes singing in the Smokies from '85 and '86. Betamax, I'm talking about.
Luke.
Just got a player repaired so he can watch them. Betamax. Who out there watching us knows what Betamax?
I do.
Luke, put those digital so that I can show them at Singing in Smokies some of it.
There you go. Jeremy Yoder, thank you for sponsoring us tonight. What year did the Singing in the Smokies start?
Good question.
69.
Okay, 1969.
No, it was the summer of 70, I believe.
Whoop. Some are
Luke
70.
Luke will know.
Yeah, Luke,
Luke-
when was it? It started at Inspiration Park in
No.
1974.
The Singing and Smoking started in Silva in 69 or
Luke,
70.
grab my finger. It's hurting. He's grabbed my finger all night. I'll beat him into next year.
Oh, let's see. We got Jeannie Kerrigan. I hope I said that right name correctly. They bought tickets in January on the Singing at Sea cruise. Thank you so much. Beverly Goldman. Can't wait for the Singing in the Smokies.
Great.
Austin Alvey. Utmost respect for Troy and Tammy, and had the privilege of filling in with them for about a year on and off. Real deal, true blue people. That's a good testimony for you guys. Thank you so
We
much.
love you too, Austin.
Thank you,
Thank you, Austin.
Wayne Triplett, what about parking
Oh,
space
we
at
have
Inspiration
100
Park?
We have 143 spaces that are paved, and
Okay.
that's where we're going to put handicapped and those that can't walk in grass as much. But there's
Okay.
plenty of parking. Plenty of parking.
That's
There
But
you
we
go.
have paved parking. That's going to be different.
Good question, Wayne. Thanks for sharing that.
And I'm going there in the morning.
All right.
I will be there in the morning meeting with a food truck, and he's going to bring me different samples and things like that. And we're going to go over, because we're going to have food trucks. And I started the strawberry shortcake back in the early 80s when I was over the concession stands. And when Bavaria Holcomb took it over, she just ran with it too. So Bavaria is bringing the strawberry shortcake back to the
All
market.
right.
Hallelujah.
I've heard like legends.
What?
Is it Pat Barker?
Somebody's ringing the door. Not anybody here?
Come
That's a good
on, I
question.
can hear you. Come in.
I don't know if we ought to get the. Oh, looky
It's
there.
Luke Vaught.
Luke Vaught busting in the scene.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I couldn't stand to hear Isaac talk anymore, so I had to come on here and
Straighten him out.
Okay.
Luke. Straighten him out.
What year did we start the Smokies, Singing the Smokies?
I thought it was 68, Troy.
No,
Was that when it was
Wait.
in Silva?
Yeah.
it was 69. I don't know. I think it was 68 or 69.
I was there. 68.
I'd go with Luke. He'd probably remember better than you, Troy.
He was there. No.
I wasn't there, but I asked questions all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll convert those Betamax tapes. I finally got a player that can make them work.
Good. We'll share that with
You on a road?
with the Roger Mudd interview. If you wake up Isaac, maybe he can be with you.
He's
too.
slain in the spirit.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean to disrupt this thing, but I had the link, so I just had to come in here and say hello.
Well, I
And
can
how
hear.
excited I am about the Singing in the Smokies.
Me too. You look like you're standing outside.
I'm sitting in my truck.
I can
I'm
see
in-
the crowd back
Hey,
there. Are they gathered? Are you having a jam session?
There usually is one tonight, but they didn't do it. They're doing it next week or next
Luke.
month at the place where I go.
We're doing them at the Smokies, aren't we, Luke?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, who's there?
That's Isaac.
I think this would be an appropriate time to tell you about our singing in the Smokies.
Yeah. Should I tell that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should tell that. That's an inside joke, but let's make it outside.
Come on.
We were singing in Gadsden, Alabama. I think this was about 11 years ago. Mike Holcomb was still the bass singer. John Epley was singing baritone. I can't remember who all was there, but I was sitting back minding my own business on the steel guitar. And the McCameys had just finished singing, and they were introducing the Inspirations to come on right after them. And we were going to finish it out. This is at the old convention hall where Big and Live was recorded in Gadsden, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, Reuben Bean was introducing us. He said, these fellas have been friends of ours for years. And then all of a sudden he stopped and he looked back there and somebody in the back of the auditorium was yelling, somebody get a nurse. Somebody pray. Get the lights. And somebody was having a heart attack in the back of the room while we're fixing to come on stage. So it just completely halted the singing and people were running back there trying to help. and Reuben Bean made the mistake of handing the microphone to Martin. He was standing there with me, and Martin basically started giving a play-by-play as to what was going on. Well, we've got a ambulance called, and I think they've got a nurse back there. And he was just talking and talking, and we were just wishing he would stop. But finally, he said, "Folks," and all this craziness going on in the back of the auditorium. He said, "Folks, I think this would be an appropriate time to mention our singing in the Smokies." And he's like, "John, what's the date on that?"
Oh, mercy.
As red as can be, and he just said, "It's in July." I think what Martin was thinking is that I think something like that had happened, and that's all he could think of. So he mentioned that and decided to plug the Singing in the Smokies. So I'm coming on here to tell you, come to the Singing in the Smokies, July 5th and 6th at Old Inspiration Park.
I'm
Thank
sold.
you, Luke.
I hope,
Thanks.
I hope there ain't no one having a heart attack.
While you're with us, Brother Luke, why don't you, we like to fire questions at our guests. What would be a good question you would have to ask Brother Isaac there to your side?
Isaac, do you say you know all the time because you're imitating Archie? You know?
Oh, Martin Cook was a school teacher at Swain County High School in Bryson City. Ronnie Hutchins, he was playing a Little Red Riding Hood play, and Martin heard him. And
okay, I'm just teasing.
Yes, that's exactly why I'm doing
Isaac
it.
is the greatest singer in the world, and I'm honored to get to sing with him. And I'm proud of him. And he works this Singing in the Smokies every night. He sets up a little corner of our record table and has those tickets ready to sell to you. So you come see us, and I guarantee Isaac will at least try really hard to sell you a Singing in the Smokies ticket. But that's how you get it done.
You're gonna have to get you a different microphone, Luke. It don't sound good. All of our microphones are so clear, and the one that you got in your truck, you need to swap it out for a Newman or something.
I'll tell you why that is. That's because that's on account of Luke being a cheapskate. He's got that Cricket wireless. I mean, he just can't.
Good phone, I'll have you know.
Don't get us started, please.
I am so excited about this thing. One of the first dates I played with the Inspirations was the Labor Day Singing in the Smokies, right when I started with the group in 2009. And I got to play bass for the whole original Inspirations except for Troy. He wasn't there, and I'm still mad about that. But Archie, Ronnie, and Jack and Martin did a couple songs, and they let me play the bass with them. And I just thought that was the most awesome thing in the world. But it would have been if Troy was there.
Well, thank you.
I just have so many memories. That was the last year before they moved the Singing in the Smokies the first time. They had it in a building for a couple of years, and then they moved it back to the park, and we did it there until the park got sold. But we tried doing it in a tent a few times. But I think this is going to be great this year, and we've already had a big response from the people that we sing to. Between Troy and Tammy and Isaac, there's no telling what all is going to happen up there.
Listen, I told them a while ago that me and you're going to do a Happy 2 song.
We ain't even practiced that.
Yeah, we had to practice, but we're going to do it.
Isaac would probably be better at that, you know.
Oh, you need to play the piano, and me and you do it.
Isaac's related to Leroy Abernathy. He'd be good at it.
Well, we're going to call it, instead of Leroy and Shorty, it's going to be Luke and Shorty.
Okay. Which one's which? Oh, wait.
Hey, Luke kind of looks like Shorty, though.
He does, don't
You have your hand up?
Yeah, I had a question. So apparently there's going to be a softball game at this shindig.
Yep.
So who all is playing?
We don't know, but but it's not just singers. I'll tell you that. I mean,
Back in the old days, the groups would play against each other and stuff like that.
Make something like that.
I mean, Rick, we used to play, like all the Florida boys would play, and Rick's Nealon and Karen Peck, and
I nearly knocked Buddy Lyles out one night.
Well, here's why we can't do it with just the groups, because, like, take for example, okay, one group, you got Troy and Tammy Burns. I mean, they're way too old to be playing softball.
I bet you Tammy could knock one
I'll go
out.
up against
and the Chuck Wagon gang. You know, we could have them on our team.
You know, the Kingsmen, we could do it with the Kingsmen.
Yeah.
They're young.
I think
Somebody pull Radine out. Okay.
If I pull a rabbit out of the hat, you know, I think Ford would be some good softball teammates. I'm a smidge competitive.
This group right here, him and
Look,
him and.
The only thing athletic about me is I'm tall.
Pitcher and catcher right here. These two.
Papaw is 50, but he can still go. I'm gonna tell you now. And
we'll have plenty of people.
You're not even coming. You're just going to work that weekend.
you know, if I play somebody in a game of dominoes, I'm going for the juggler. So yeah.
I'm out to win whatever I go for.
Hey, I have experience in announcing if y'all need one. So
He is.
Nope.
Oh, is that?
We're good.
Oh, that's right. Okay, here's a question. What is a weird hobby that you have, Isaac?
Oh goodness.
Going along with what I just said.
I don't know if I've got any weird hobbies. I mean, my hobbies are pretty normal. I mean, my daily routine is, well, I'll tell you this. I've got a 97 Ford pickup truck, and that's kind of one of my hobbies, is just hop in that truck and go do just daily, just go to the post office, go to the bank, you know, I mean, just go to the grocery store, stuff like that. I can just ride around. Every time I drive in that truck, it feels like the first time. I love that pickup truck. So I don't know. I don't know if I've got any weird hobbies. Is it weird to just like to drive around in your pickup truck all day?
No, I do too. Give me a quick coffee.
I can't.
You're messing up.
If everybody loved me like the crud, I'd be the most loved person in the world.
You're messing up the audio.
Oh, I'm trying not to. I really am.
I've got a 92 Ford truck. It's got a speed, you know, four in the floor. And
Is it an F-150?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Now, you shouldn't have brought that up, because now I'm gonna have an ADD moment and just want to talk about trucks with you on this podcast all night.
No,
So
we can't all these people's time. But mine, Daniel, if you don't quit holding up signs.
But okay, I do have a weird hobby for you. I have just thought of one. Okay, this would be weird to a lot of people, and this probably drives Luke crazy.
Embalming people
on the road.
Weird.
So I am learning Spanish. I've been learning Spanish for about 6 months. So every single night before I go to bed, I'll be working on my Spanish.
Do you use Duolingo?
Huh?
Do you use Duolingo?
I do use Duolingo.
I've used it a little bit.
Yeah, I do that, and before I go to bed, I do 100 push-ups and 100 crunches.
Hey,
so there's some weird hobbies for you.
We're singing with y'all in Ramburn, I think, next month. You care to sing When I Wake Up to Sleep No More in Spanish when we get down there?
I can do that. Yeah.
Hey, you move over and let me get it. Troy, when we were just married, he could do one-handed push-ups with me on his back. He was stout.
Hey,
move over.
No más dormir.
What does that mean?
No more sleep.
Boy, this train is just derailed.
Yeah.
Will there be any smoking in the singing?
If you
smoking in the singings.
What now?
Yeah. No.
just to own a couple of quartet buses, but not in. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know anybody just on Troy and Tammy's bus. That's why the fans that are watching may not know this, but that's why Tammy can't quit coughing.
All right.
Oh, I grew up with a smoker. My dad.
Luke,
You boys.
Luke, thank you for coming on and derailing us like this. But
Now, look, I'm trying to keep it in check.
Hey, how many people are watching?
14,000.
Oh,
Vela.
No, I don't.
we
have
got
that.
around 200 right now.
200. See, that's a big jump.
We
Look
had
what I've done for y'all.
5,000 till Luke came on. Since Luke showed up, we dropped to 200.
I want a
really messed
Spanish
it up that
version
big.
of this.
We've actually reached 3,000 people tonight so far.
Awesome.
Good.
So
I'm
cool.
glad I
What
showed
about
up
that?
then.
Questions?
Yeah, let's go. Now, again, we kind of had talked about transitioning a little bit. Are you, Troy, y'all hanging out with us the rest of the time, or?
It's about time for my medicine.
Okay.
But I probably should go ahead and take it and let you young people finish this thing. What is this called?
Southern Gospel Forward.
This
No, I mean,
Come on, Papaw.
is it
Some
a
people on here are
blog?
backwards, though.
It's a video thing.
Yeah,
Hey, but before we leave, the next
Yes.
time I'm on here, I feel like I'm on the Brady Bunch. Can we get like the theme music and just go?
Look at everybody.
Is this the biggest? Is this the biggest like crowd as far as like visitors that y'all have ever had on one?
Yes, we've only got one open spot. If we could have got one more, we could have had the 9 spots filled up and actually did the Brady
If they
Bunch
turn their
thing.
phones correctly.
Somebody
Well-
call Wyatt.
Hey,
There we go. Turn your around, Luke.
Turn yours sideways, Luke.
hey, Troy.
What?
Before y'all go, we're going to put your web address up on the screen, and maybe you want to talk a little bit about it. If you go to www.troyburnsfamily.com, what could they find there to support
I
you?
really
fine
think we
fellas?
should name it Tammy Burns Family. Really.
Well,
I've been thinking about that lately.
So if they go to our website, it's a normal group's website. You can buy everything from a shirt to a CD. And Luke quit. You can see our dates where we're going to sing and phone numbers. And Daniel is actually holding up our latest CD. And
No, that's
singing
our
the song.
poster, isn't it?
That's our website, Troy. That's not our CD.
Okay, that's our website right there.
Let me tell you about
One of
that.
them.
No,
Can I tell you about a picture?
No.
That picture right there. We on our new CD then and now. Troy he had to have a yellow jacket because he wanted to do the iconic picture of them on the Gospel
Right.
Singing Jubilee.
right.
And that yellow jacket was kind of a mustard jacket. And I found a mustard one, but it was $269. And I thought, I am not paying that for this picture. So I got a $69.
You weren't
Very
leaving.
yellow.
So instead, you got a highlighter yellow.
Ladder yellow.
I hear you.
No, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate you having two Medicare people on the youth forward thing, and we appreciate that. Oh, that was some great, that right there, singing in the Smokies Live 1 and 2, 1980.
Yes,
That,
ma'am.
I tell you,
Takes
heaven
me
fell
back.
down on that mountain that night. Let
Yes,
me tell
ma'am.
you. It
If
did.
anyone has those albums, I'll take them.
I got one.
Me too.
I'll buy them.
Some lady gave us a bunch of albums. We had every album, and I don't know where they are. They're gone.
Oh, I've got everything in the Inspirations catalog except for the Ralph Sexton
That's hard right there.
project. That's the only one I'm lacking.
I can put you in touch
You
with
don't need it because Troy's not on that one.
Yeah, it's probably for it.
Other than the first one, I've got everyone Troy is on. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, Troy, Tammy, Daniel, Ethan, we thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for supporting Southern Gospel Forward, hanging out with us. I do ask y'all who are watching to go to the website. You can also get the booking information and have them at your church, at your venue. And we just thank them so much for hanging out tonight with us.
We need some Alabama dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
need some
Well, you're
Georgia
coming in
dates.
December 1st
Yeah.
in Hayden, Alabama.
No, we're blessed. We're blessed
And you
beyond
guys
measure.
will be in Ranburn on
Ranburn,
April
yeah.
the 20.
Yep.
I don't know what I'll be doing in December. I can't.
I know.
Far
commit.
out.
Same thing with July. I don't know what I'll be doing on the
Mhm.
4th and
April
5th and 6th.
26th.
Bye, y'all.
Any,
Uh,
I'm getting ready to go
Love
take
y'all.
my
We love
pill.
y'all.
Thank you so much,
Love you
guys.
too, bud.
Love
See
you
y'all.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Y'all
Thank you.
take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Oh,
Daniel just
Daniel wanted to
Daniel
go
just
with
turned off his camera.
muted himself. He just wants to hang out.
Where's Ethan? Oh,
All
they're all
right.
gone. Okay.
So now, here we are.
Hey, Luke.
I feel like Isaac needs to be pounded with some really, just a line of questions that y'all have in your pocket that you've been saving just for Isaac. All these 15 episodes, everybody we've had, you've had questions you would just like to ask him. Come on with them.
Who we starting
Riley, I'll
with?
let you go first.
Are y'all ready for me to get out of here?
You can do whatever you want to, my friend.
You can
If
be
I
like the
stay here,
spectator.
I'll end up commenting on everything Isaac says, and I don't need to do that.
You
Well,
guys just see in the comments, right?
you're welcome to hang out as long as you want to. But yeah, y'all, who's first? Avery, Riley, who wants to go?
I said Riley first.
Okay, so I'm going to do one from the Instagram questions. What is your favorite inspiration song that you want to bring back that y'all already haven't?
I would say, oh goodness, there's so many. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just have to think about it. This great love of Jesus.
Okay.
See, I was about to answer that for him. I knew that one.
Yeah.
I have a question, a follow-up question, and I just haven't seen this. Y'all may have this in your repertoire, but have y'all staged in the current group, Joshua?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have not seen that live, or y'all haven't done it when I was around.
I requested it in 2021, and they sang it at Tabernacle Baptist Church in Wilson, North Carolina. So
okay, cool beans.
I
Cool
remember.
beans. All right, who's next?
My next year.
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay. So to address the elephant in the room, the Inspirations went #1 on iTunes, which is I don't think people realize how big that is, because also in that charts were people like Bethel Music, Michael W. Smith, who is a contemporary Christian, like the Elvis of contemporary Christian music. Other people, Tadashi, who is one of the biggest Christian rappers, but you guys were #1, beating out like all of those guys in the top 5. How does that feel? Luke, you can answer this, but Isaac, you're our guest. So how did being #1 on top of these people who sell out places like arenas and such and like that, how does this feel to be a part of that project?
Well, Luke and the guys that I sing with can tell you all about this. When I get into the studio, I feel like I become, in a way, a different person. I'm so motivated to make the best music possible. I don't want to make table projects, and I'm not. While I say that, I also want to add this. At the same time, I'm also not. It's not my goal to make #1 albums or #1 hits. I don't care about that, but I want to make the best quality music that is going to represent the Inspirations the way that the group deserves to be recognized. So for me to see that album do what it's done is it's so special to me, because not because it's on merely because it's on the top of the chart. It's because it lets me know that the album it accomplished what we set out to accomplish when we recorded it, and that's for it to be heard by as many people as possible. Right. And I think when it first started getting released and people started hearing, buying it on CDs at our concerts and such, the reviews were really well on it. So I think that's what's pushed so many people to download it and stuff, is the word that was getting out after the CD started coming out and getting in people's hands. So it just means to me that our music is doing what we've set out for it to do, and that's
Right.
to reach people and for our music to be heard. There's no point in singing this music if we can't get the message out. That's why we sing this music, is to share the message that are in the songs. So
Amen.
it means a lot to me that the message is going out, and that's kind of what I've repeated over the last several days, is the message is going out, and that's the whole point.
Right. Yeah. And comments, as you can see, people, I mean, all my Facebook and Instagram, the last, since when was it, Friday that the album dropped, all it's been is just rave reviews on how great it is and all the messages and the lyrics. I'm not big on lyrics because I'm such a music. I think more of music. But you said, I think it was you that said it at a concert in Mississippi. We were in Mississippi, and you said something to the effect of, a lot of times in music we get caught up with harmony and music that we don't listen to the lyrics. And every time that I listen to a song, I think of the night that you said that. So this album really has done that for me. I've listened to the lyrics, and there's some great lyrics in this album that are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it being on the top of that chart means that in that time period, for however long it was at the top, it's being heard in some way. It's being heard more than anything else.
Yeah.
Right. And that's huge for us. I mean, that's and that's something that obviously if you follow our page, I made a big point, I made a video 2 or 3 different times when I found out we were in the top 5. Not so much to hit number 1. It's just because, hey, if we can continue to download this, our music's going to be heard that much more.
Right.
That's that's the whole point. Is letting the music and the message be heard. I sound like I'm beating a dead horse.
No, one thing that you made me think about, though, being on that list and being on top of the list, because a lot of people will go to Apple and they'll go into the Christian genre and just click genre Christian, and then boom, what's the top song, what's the top album.
Yeah.
And I never get into negativity on the music side and preferences and stuff like that, but I do know that a lot of music that really gets out there on those charts usually is some that may focus on styles and the sound and the music and what's current and what's pleasing to folks' ears. What I do know about so many songs on your project is that they really give a good, clear, concise representation of the gospel.
Yeah.
And leading people to Christ in a clear, concise way. Straightforward, point blank. And so what a blessing somebody could be, somebody just kind of walking around. It's like, well, what's this on the top of the chart? And then boom, go in and they download it, or they start listening to the songs, and they actually hear, yes, pleasing music, but actually the gospel that changes lives. So that's a blessing.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some stops in our program, where we kind of take a load off and sing something that might make somebody laugh or something like that, but I mean, I can honestly say, 90% or more of an Inspirations program on any given night is going to be full of meat.
Yes.
And I think that's what's allowed the group to thrive as long as it has, is that there's never been a point in the Inspirations where there wasn't meat going out to the listeners.
Absolutely.
I mean, good, solid meat. And we live in a time, in our country now where we've never needed good solid meat any more than we do in America today.
Amen.
And so much of the music that we hear today is void of that. So
Yeah,
it's very important for us. It's
absolutely. And I don't talk about much like this when it comes to my votes, my favorite stuff like that, because I love all Southern gospel music. I love all the Southern gospel artists with all my heart. But that's like last year. My vote for the Singing News Song of the Year was "I Have God to Thank for Everything." Every time that I hear that song, I don't know that I've ever listened to that song, especially if I'm to myself in the car, at my desk at work, because I spend Southern Gospel CDs at my desk at work. I don't know if I've ever listened to that song that I haven't had a tearful moment, because it just takes me to the place to where I think about how good God has been to me.
Amen.
All the blessings he's given to me in my life, most importantly being to know me and know the depths of my heart and the dirt that is within me, the filthy rags that I am. And yet he loved me and he wanted a relationship with me still. And so he sent Jesus to a cross to take my place and to pay for my sins so that I might have eternal life through Jesus and a relationship with the Father. And how can you not listen to that message and that song and not say, hallelujah, glory, praise God?
Yeah. Yeah, to bounce off of that and what Evan said a minute ago, I think one of the biggest parts of my growth as a singer has been learning to actually think about the words while I'm singing the song.
Right.
So when we sing, I have God to thank for everything. I don't care if anybody sees me doing this or not, but this is not why I'm about to tell you this, but when we sing, I have God to thank for everything, I make a point to actually think while we're singing the song of all the things that I have to thank him for. And I can sing if I'm not thinking about the things that I have God to thank for. That's the whole point of the song. How can I sing the song from my heart if I'm not mindful of the things that he's blessed me with? So, and I have my times where, I slip up and I'm thinking about, how am I singing tonight? Or if I'm having a night where I'm struggling a little bit, I might, I'm just human, but I really try to focus on every song we sing, thinking about the actual words that are coming out of my mouth, because how can I relay the message from my heart to the people and it strike a chord with their heart if my heart's really not focused on it.
Amen.
And that song is a great. We have a lot of songs. I say this a lot. We have a lot of songs in the inspirations that are great reflection songs, and those are some of my favorite ones to sing. The songs that make you stop and reflect. But if you're not reflecting, you're wasting an opportunity.
Amen.
To bless somebody. And people can. Here's another thing, kind of branching off, people in the audience can see if you're feeling what you're singing. Not everybody. There are some people out there that are just there for the performance.
Right.
But I know for a fact that there's the majority of the true blue Christian people can look at a person on stage singing and sense whether or not they're truly singing it from their heart.
Yes.
And it makes a huge difference.
I think about Glenn Payne, one of the best communicators in the history of Southern gospel music. And you knew, now, was he one of the greatest leads in history? Absolutely, as far as quality of voice and technique. But when he sung "We Shall See Jesus," he was not just singing, he was experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telling the story. I watched a video of that where I hate to say the word performance, but I watched a video of Glenn singing "We Shall See Jesus" a couple days ago because we had a group, Clear Vision, came and sang it at our church, and it made me reminisce on that, and I loved watching. You're right. He makes you, even through video. I mean, Glenn's been with the Lord for how many years now, and still,
I know.
I mean, still you can feel that even through video. You don't even have to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Absolutely. Boy, we could bear down and sit down on some of these for a long time, but I know we want to get, I don't know how many honestly, all the work that I had to do to put into the pre-production on all the ads and all the sponsorships, I didn't even look at the questions from our forward group. Y'all may have some that we need to get in, or some of our normal questions you want to ask Isaac.
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So, and Luke might jump in on this, but Isaac, what is one, I like to ask this question. What's an embarrassing or funny moment that's happened on the road?
I just told this the other day. I guess the first one that jumps out in my mind that I can tell is we were in Cedartown, Georgia, which is, less than an hour away from me. And I lived in that county. Polk County is where Cedartown is. I lived in that county for 10 or 11 years when I was younger. My dad pastored a church in that county. So anyway, we were singing at a church in Cedartown. And at this church, I had a lot of really close friends that I grew up with and stuff. So it was kind of like a family reunion for me, or a homecoming, because this was my people. And and they were, really proud of me, and they were just proud that I was singing with a group and that I was there singing for them. And so anyway, we have a meal after the service, and I'm sitting down eating and fellowshipping with a lot of friends that I hadn't seen in a long time. And Wyatt walks up to me with a pepper, and the guys know I don't do hot stuff. I can't handle. I don't even eat jalapenos. So he comes up to me with this pepper. He says, "Man, you need to try this pepper. This pepper is it's to die for. It's delicious." And I'm like, "Well, I don't do hot stuff. I'm not going to eat that." He's like, no, this is not hot at all. This is called a Carolina sweet pepper. It's just a real sweet pepper, kind of like a banana pepper. And I like banana peppers.
Man had grown them in his garden, and he was walking around passing them out to people.
I bet that Carolina was not sweet.
Yeah. Some old boy had grown these in his garden, and I guess he had conjured them up himself, crossbred them with other peppers and stuff, and created his own pepper that he was growing in his garden. So, but I didn't know that at the time. So, anyway, so he says it's a Carolina sweet pepper. So I'm like, okay, I'll try the pepper. And of course, what did I do? I stemmed it. I bit it clean down to the stem, got the seeds and everything. Within 10 seconds, I knew that I had been had. I knew that my life was over. Within 30 seconds, I had bursted into tears. Within 60 seconds, every bit of fluid that could have possibly been in my body was dripping down to the floor. Whether that be, snot, just disgusting. Just so within 5 minutes, all of my suit is drenched.
What color suit? Because that matters.
I can't remember. But okay, so this is where it gets really funny. Looking back on it, so I'm getting up over and over again. I had quit eating. I lost all of my appetite. Just didn't care anything about eating food. So I was getting up every 10 seconds and going to a table, in that church's fellowship hall to get another refill of a drink or some ice or whatever. Just pouring water over my head. Everything. So I get up to make another run to get a cup of ice, and this little old lady stops me. And I hate that I can't remember her, but she apparently held me when I was a little child. And she remembers me seeing me at church, when we lived there, and, seeing me as a little boy running around and everything. And I didn't have any idea who she was. But she started pouring her heart and soul out to me. And I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here drenching my clothes in sweat, tears rolling down my face, snot just bubbling out all over, just snot pouring down, dripping down onto my clothes. And she thinks that what she's telling me is touching my heart because she thinks she's affecting me and moving me to tears, when in reality I'm in the most pain I've ever been in my entire life. And I look across, and she held me up for every bit of 15 minutes.
Oh.
So I'm in torture.
Ooh.
Because at this point I can't, within 2 minutes I'm out of ice, so I can't go back and get a refill of anything. And I look over and I see all the group and all my friends and everything, they're just dying. So yeah, but she really thought that she was touching me, when in reality I was just in a great deal of pain.
Bless you, son. Bless you.
Yeah, there's a lot more stories. I can't tell most of them. So
yeah. I was thinking, and this is quick and I'm out, but I was thinking, I started to pose the question of when you and Wyatt had that appearance back in 2020 on the SBM Studios podcast, and we were venturing into a time of seriousness and we were a time of encouragement in scripture. Some reason, somehow y'all got really busted up and tickled during that time. And I know there's a video of that, but we won't go into that. I started to throw that out there, but anyway.
Yeah, that's Mr. Vaught for you.
Yeah, that was Mr. Vaught. Yes.
Yeah, I can't really.
He's talking to someone right now.
Yeah, I can't really go into a lot of detail about that, but
that's one of those things that, you just had to see. I'm so glad that I got to see, because this is behind the scenes, but that back on the audio podcast, it wasn't like this where it's live and it just happens. Whatever happens. I spent a lot of time editing and cleaning and all that. And I had to cut like 3.5 minutes out.
Well, he's gone.
Yeah, he gone.
He should be.
Yes, he's
God
embarrassed.
rest his soul.
He's embarrassed. But so after that fact, about a year or so later, I appreciated Isaac saying, "Come here, let me show you what was going on," and pulling that video up on the phone. So anyway, all right, let's get out of that. Youngins, next question.
I guess it's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many folks have heard your testimony of how you came to the group, but what's your salvation testimony and maybe a favorite verse that you have?
Yeah, I probably don't have a favorite verse, so I'll go ahead and give you that right off the bat. It's just that's like being asked my favorite song. I can't name one, but I do love the Bible. I'll say that. My salvation testimony is I was 7 years old. I can't remember a word that was preached or anything, and I'll be honest with you, I wasn't listening throughout the entirety of the service. It's kind of that age, obviously, where 7-year-old kids, they're gonna bring a couple of toys into church with them, and
Sure.
crawling around, beneath the pew and building forts out of songbooks. That's kind of so. I wasn't listening at all. I had never been under conviction before. I knew, from my parents telling me, I knew, I just knew that one day the Lord he was gonna call out to me some way or another. I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I was just taking mom and daddy's word for it, that someday I was gonna hear his voice in whatever way he speaks. So, but we got to the altar call, and I hadn't heard a word that was going on the whole service. I was just blindsided by the Holy Spirit, completely out of nowhere. There was nothing that I heard in my dad's message that stuck out to me or made me perk up or made me think. Out of nowhere, it was like I was just sitting down in the pew and I was like, this is the voice of the Lord telling me that I'm lost, and if I don't get saved, I'm gonna spend eternity in hell.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I sat there and thought about it for a minute, and I was like, you know, I knew before. Obviously, there was a lot of times where I would reflect, and I would think, you know, I know that the Lord has not saved me, but I also knew that the Lord had never spoken to me, so I wasn't worried because I knew that, you know, unless the Lord speaks to me, you know, I'm not really lost. But in that moment, I knew I was lost because I had just, I guess, in that moment, that twinkling of an eye sitting there on the pew, I had reached the age of accountability. All of a sudden, my eyes were open. I knew I was a sinner, and I knew without the Lord and the blood applied to my life, I was gonna go to hell. So I sat there and thought about it a minute. I've always kind of been the type where I don't, you know, I just kind of when I see what I need to do, I just do it, you know. So I sat there for about a minute and thought about it, and I was like, thought about going down. I was like, now hold on. I want to be saved. I mean, what's the point in me leaving today, you know, and potentially something happening to me and me dying lost? I was like, okay, well, I don't like to get up in front of people, and I don't really want to, but what am I going to do? Leave here and not get saved? You know, I mean, that's always, ever since I was a little boy, that's the way my mind has processed things. So I took about a minute thinking about it, and I was like, well, okay, I'm either going to go to heaven or hell. So I better make up my mind here. So I just told my mom, I said, Mom, I think I need to get saved. And she didn't say anything to me. She just nodded her head, looked forward, because she knew she couldn't do it for me. She wasn't going to drag me down there. I was going to have to do it for myself. So she said that. I thought for a few more seconds. I was like, well, I've got to do it. So I stepped around her, walked out of the pew, walked down to the altar, and I'll never forget as long as I live the sound I heard come around me after I knelt down, because we're really country church folk, you know. So if young boy or girl gets in the altar that's lost, you know, the church is coming in. The church is coming in behind them. So it's not a deal where we're not the type where the preacher's going to get down and open the Bible. And, you know, we've heard the scripture our whole life. We know how to get saved. They're not going to try to talk you into it, but they're going to be around you praying. I'll never forget the sound. It was like an earthquake had fallen around me within 10 seconds of me falling into the altar. My grandmother, you know, and my mom shouting and crying out to the Lord, you know, and, you know, I was in the altar maybe 2 minutes, you know, and I just told the Lord what I needed to tell him. And I knew, you know, just at some point in the altar, I knew I had gotten it. And I got up, and that's my salvation testimony.
Awesome.
Amen. Yes.
Like everybody, I've had my points where I've doubted it, you know, but it never takes long to know that I got what I thought I got when I got it, you know.
Amen.
That makes any sense.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Absolutely love hearing those testimonies. Thanks for asking that question. Yeah, I think Evan, why don't you lay one out there for us, buddy?
All right. Yeah, I'll ask you this one because you weren't on earlier. I asked this for every episode, and you said you're anti-sugar, but I've seen you before, or I've seen you after a concert before when these gracious people give you food. You've even offered me some before.
I have.
And I mean, man, you talk about some good snacking. Isaac, you know, when he get too many snacks, he'll hand one off to me. So what's your favorite road trip snack?
Man, I don't know. I kind of go through spells where I'll get on the snack and eat it for like months, and that's my snack. I'll get it like daily or every other day. For a long time, I got on them. What flavor of the purple Doritos? Spicy chili Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
man, there was a period for about a year and well, that was my road snack is spicy chili Doritos. I don't know. I mean, now that I've mostly quit sugar, it's hard to say because I really just don't snack a lot anymore. Now, if we're going to include sugar just for the sake of me giving y'all something, chocolate chip cookies, just plain old chocolate chip cookies, but they have to be moist. I don't do crunchy cookies.
There you go.
Thank you. Amen.
Come on.
The whole church said amen.
Take up the offering.
There it is.
Good deal. All right, y'all. We are hitting the 2:15 mark, and I know
The longest episode we've ever had.
Yeah, and it was going to be extended. I don't want to wear Isaac out, but I also wanted to make sure we gave him his due because we kind of had some crossover here. Have you got any last round quick hitters? Anything you haven't? Come on.
I'll ask one about the new album. I don't think there's a bad song on the project. I love it. So, what do you think out of all the songs? What do you think are some of the ones that are going to stick around for the long run?
I'm going to exclude the 3 that are re-records,
right?
Or old songs,
right?
As far as new songs, I think, man, that's tough to say because honestly, I've been looking at the comments about our album. We've asked a lot, and our record company's made a lot of posts asking what your favorite song is. And honestly, there is not a single song on the recording that's not been said by several people it's their favorite. So I almost want to say all of them.
It's good.
But yeah, I mean, it's just it's a great album. It really is. So I mean, obviously, there's going to be some that stick. Or stick more than others. There's going to be some that are more successful than others. Man, I would say Red Sea Miracle, probably because it is so stinking catchy. That is such a catchy song. That first line, everybody talks about the first line of the chorus. God will cut a 4-lane highway through the sea. Who in the world thinks to write something like that?
Ronnie Hanson.
Yeah. So.
Same guy who wrote a song about a lighthouse.
Yeah. So, so I would say that song probably just because it's so catchy. It's a great message too. I'm not trying to leave that part of it out, but it's just a catchy song, and catchy songs are easily remembered.
Right. Yeah. I lied. I did have a question. The Inspirations are known for their wide array of suits, and I think I've asked you this just in general. What has become your favorite suit and why? Rather it be a good memory. Black.
Yeah. Well, I'll go a step further. Black, but we have a tuxedo, and every now and again we'll pull out a tuxedo. We actually I don't know. I don't know. It probably no problem with me saying this, but we actually just did another photo shoot. Awesome. I can't tell you what for.
Yeah.
But we just did another photo shoot. So a lot of the pictures in that shoot were in our tux, and it's just a black tuxedo with a black tie and a white pocket square. Man, there's nothing that looks any more classy than that.
Yeah. Those are sharp.
Snazzy stuff. That's what I'm going to be wearing in my wedding too. So I really like that.
That's one thing about you. And I'm not saying this to butter you up or anything. You've got the best style in Southern gospel.
Yes.
Honestly. Street clothes. I mean, right now you're matching on an interview.
Told Evan,
I've
told him several times. I'm like, you need to dress like I take tips from Isaac and wear that kind of stuff. It looks good.
Speaking of that, how many people are watching right now?
163.
Okay, 163 people are about to see something marvelous in regards to my style.
Yeah.
Camo cross. Nice.
Nice.
No, even better.
I got them here. What Coke socks.
You are a Georgia boy.
Coca-Cola.
Awesome.
Coca-Cola and camo Crocs. What about that?
Styling and profiling.
That's
Get
right.
more
Yeah.
Georgia than that, boy.
Yeah, I'm really styling right now.
Absolutely, man. I'll throw one more, and I think this one will be kind of a rapid one, but outside of the Inspiration family, and that talking about the guys in the group and previous guys in the group, Archie, all the guys, who are some in Southern gospel music that has maybe encouraged you, maybe mentored you, helped guide you, cheered you on as a young artist?
Yeah, man, there's so many of them. I would say, especially on my vocal journey, man, there's been a lot of guys who've taken me under their wing. Mark Trammell.
Yep.
Mark Trammell has given me some vocal tips that have changed my life and maybe saved me.
Yeah.
Ernie Haas is a guy that, you know, we'll text back and forth from time to time. He's done the same thing. So those are two, man. There's a lot more, man. I could hit, but those are two right off the bat. And you know, Ernie is a tenor. You know, and I'll say this. You know, Ernie and I really, and he and I have talked about this. We sing a lot alike. I'm not saying I sound like him, but I just mean the way that we sing.
Placement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, he's a full steam power tenor.
Yes.
Kind of like I am. You know, I rely on singing from my gut, man. I'm gonna have to put it out there, you know. So so our tones and stuff and the way we project is very similar. So Ernie has helped me a lot and taken me under his wing. That's two off the top of my head, but there's a million more. There's a million more. And there's a lot of guys from a spiritual standpoint that have really done that for me. The Primitives, they're like, I consider the Primitives like pawpaws, you know. You know, I've spent the night at their houses and you know, so yeah, there's a million of them.
Yeah. And I like to ask that question because one thing that I have found is there's so many of the older generation in Southern gospel music that really truly takes an intentional interest in cheering on and mentoring and helping the young artist and even to the point of not just the rah-rah cheering on, but like you spoke about, you actually getting some tips that helps you helps you as you grow your vocal journey and your spiritual journey. So I'm thankful for those who pour into our young folks.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, let's do this. Jason, if you'll throw up the website for the inspirations, I'd like to remind our watchers and our listeners that if you go to the inspirationsquartet.com, there you will find all things Inspirations, including library you can purchase their music from. You find the tour schedule where you can catch the Inspirations close to you. And you can also get the booking information because we like for all of our listeners and watchers to support our artists. Have them come to a place near you, to your church, to your venue. And Isaac, is there anything else that you would like to promote as far as inspirationsquartet.com or anything else, Inspirations, other than, of course, we've hit on the Singing on the Smokies this time, but anything else?
Yeah. So I'll quickly revisit that just for anybody who may have come in last minute.
Sure.
The Singing in the Smokies is probably our biggest ambition this year. If you love the Inspirations and you love gospel music, please buy tickets for the Singing in the Smokies. Gospel music needs concerts like that. There's so many of them that have died out, and it'd be a great thing for your family to do. There's a million things for your family to do while you're there, for your kids to participate in. I promise you, there's not going to be a boring moment at the Singing in the Smokies. So go to singinginthesmokies.com or singinginthesmokies.org, either one, and order your tickets. And everybody who does, please don't wait to get your tickets. Don't say, I'll wait till I get there. if everybody will buy them in advance, we'll be able to operate that singing so much easier.
Yes.
Please don't be one of these people that's like, I'll just get them when I get there. Because if you do that, there's going to be a million excuses that creep into your mind between now and then why you can't go. Go ahead and nail your tickets down, order them online, or call the number online to get them. That way, you've already determined in your mind you're going to go. You've already committed, and that would mean the world to us. I will say this: we just announced we're doing a Hawaiian trip in November. So we're going to fly into Honolulu and get on a Norwegian cruise liner, great big beautiful ship, and for 7 days we'll go from island to island in Hawaii. And it's not like a typical gospel cruise where there's 40 different groups on there. This is an inclusive inspirations deal. It's just us, and then Jonathan Wilburn, who's one of the greatest singers who's ever lived. He'll be going with us, and an evangelist friend of ours, Joe Arthur, will be preaching and giving devotions and stuff like that. So that's all that's going. We're going to be doing plenty of singing, lots of great food, and for those 7 days, and who don't want to go to Hawaii. So that's through Templeton Tours. If you go on our go to templetontours.com for the information on that, or you can go to Templeton Tours on Facebook, and there's probably a link to that, but there's less than 200 spots available. So if you want to go, you don't have much time to procrastinate. You can go ahead and make up your mind.
Mm-hmm. And that website was also, you said templetontours.com, but also the website for Singing the Smokies, that's singinginthesmokies.com.
Yes. And I will plug this because I know there's a lot of people who, if you'll join Southern Gospel Fords or group on Facebook, you'll want to join this too. About maybe a couple months ago, I started a Singing in the Smokies Facebook page. That we need to draw some attraction to.
We'll share that in Southern Gospel Forward for you.
Yeah, I'll show everybody something really quickly. I don't mean to take up so much time.
No, you're right.
But every single person who's watching, listen real close. Every single person who goes and follows and likes the Singing in the Smokies Facebook page will be automatically entered to win one of these hats. I had only, I don't know, is this backwards for you guys?
No, it's good.
No, it's perfect. It's great.
Okay. So this, I only had like 5 of these made. They're gold for 60th anniversary. And all of the living inspirations that do our reunion tour signed the bill of it. So all the legends, Archie, Mike, Troy, Eddie, Marlon, all of us current members, Matt, Melton, all those guys signed this hat. So I've only got 5 of them. I'm not going to give away all of them. I got to keep 1 or 2 for myself.
Sure.
But I think I've got 2 that I'm going to give away for everybody who goes and follows the Singing in the Smokies Facebook page.
And that's what it looks like, I think.
Yes, that's it. It's the page is entitled "The Inspiration Singing in the Smokies." So everybody go follow that, and you'll be automatically entered, and we'll randomly pick a name.
I think I'm going to unfollow it and then follow it again, so I'll be entered in there.
Yeah, me too, man.
I was already following that, but yeah, that's awesome. Did y'all hear that? Now go to that page and like and follow, and that is an awesome prize that you'll be in the running for. So yeah, that's awesome, man.
And everybody who buys advanced Singing in the Smokies tickets at our concerts gets a goodie bag with $40 worth of free merchandise. We got a free CD in there, like a bunch of knickknack stuff like keychain, a phone case, and stuff like that. So let's push the Singing in the Smokies, you guys. And
yes,
and get a huge crowd in there that's going to be reminiscent of the old days.
Absolutely, and thankful to see the event come back into play. That was a highlight for years, and it's important to Southern gospel music. So, well, very good. I think we probably need to go ahead and gather the wagons around and come in. Any last words from my panel?
I don't think so.
Everybody's tired.
I'm so tired.
Isaac, I appreciate you, my young friend. You are a blessing to me. You're a blessing to all of us. We thank you for sharing your personal time with us tonight on your off day. And thank you so much. You mean the world to us, and we just appreciate you hanging out with us.
Love all of you guys. Thank you for keeping the boat rolling.
Absolutely, my friend. And to our listeners, thank y'all, and watchers, thank you so much for joining us. Please remember to like and share this. Please go to YouTube and what's that? Subscribe to our YouTube. I'm tired. Papa is tired. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like,
and,
subscribe, hit the bell, all
hit
that,
the bell,
you know.
that kind of good stuff, and that will help us out a lot. But thank y'all for being so kind to us. We love y'all. I hope you feel our love for the Southern Gospel Forward family when we're on here. We appreciate y'all so much. It doesn't happen without y'all joining us, liking us, and following us, and watching us, and sharing us, and all that good stuff. Y'all are a blessing to us. But until the next time when we do this again, from all of us to all of you, remember, we love you. God loves you too. And we'll see you again in a few weeks.
Bye.